Starting. Hey everyone, it's Mike here, Global Voodoo. This is episode number 13 of the Resellers Roundtable, crushing the competition. We're live here tonight on Labor Day. Hope everybody's having a great Labor Day. Hope you had a great weekend and you're out there hustling, making money, reselling, relaxing, the whole 9 yards. Appreciate all of you guys watching here tonight. Tonight's show, we're just going to be talking about some reselling stuff from eBay, Amazon, Etsy, showing some cool items that we recently picked up. And we got some... Oh! Let me mute this here. There we go. All right, so cool. So how has Mike's life been for a while since last week we talked? Just been really busy. eBay, Amazon's been really good to me. Etsy's been good. We're selling a lot of stuff. We're moving forward. It seems like it's this time of year. It's that Q4 atmosphere. People are getting back to school. Things are selling. Things are flipping right. So it's working out pretty well for me. Previous to that, I had a week where it just was like sour, dude. It was just like, oh my god. Like nothing would sell. But I'm glad that this weekend kind of kicked in and there were some profits there. So I'm happy with that for sure. Tyler, what's new? What's exciting with you, man?
Oh yeah, I mean I'm starting to notice that with the sales starting to pick up. So I'm really excited for this upcoming fourth quarter. I spent a lot of this weekend sourcing inventory. A lot of stores around me. I did a lot of retail arbitraging for the Labor Day sales that they had, and I actually just got back about 45 minutes from a couple stores. So got some great stuff, and I'm looking forward to listing it all week. So it's going to be a lot to get on.
Nice, yeah. But before we get into more of this here, let's talk about an item we sold, and then we'll get back to what Scott and Arthur and Tyler got going on. I sold a really nice Coogee sweater, which I have a video coming out about that this week. I got $150 for a Coogee sweater, man. I'm a game for that, man. I was thinking small shit. I was like, dude, $150, I'll take that. So Tyler, awesome. Besides the RA you were doing, the hustle bustle, what's something you recently sold, like past day or two?
Well, I had a bunch of SodaStream accessories that I bought, like cheap. And I finally got the buy box today in Amazon and sold out of all of them in like 15 minutes. So that was pretty cool. That was something that happened today.
Yeah, that SodaStream stuff is. What did you sell? Because I've got some CO2 stuff that I've been sending in, and you mind sharing with us, Tyler? Like the
yeah, I was picking up the 1 liter. Bottles, like extra bottles that you can buy from there in a pack, and I was getting them for like $3 a piece. I'm selling for over 20 FBA.
Nice.
So I bought a bunch of them. A bunch of my stores around me finished them all out at the same time. So I went and loaded them up, sent them in about I'm gonna say 2 weeks ago. I priced them a little high. Was what everybody else was selling for, and then it was finally my turn to sell out, so I did today. So in like 20 minutes, I sold out. So that was good.
Nice. We got Mr. Scott Hightower, Mr. Blab himself in his house with the Blackhawks. What's up, Scott? What's new? What's exciting, man?
What's going on, man? It's just enjoying this holiday weekend. I did a lot of more relaxing than I had planned on. I did a lot of sniping though. I've been doing a lot of research because I'm getting ready. Because I was talking about my plan before is like I'm just going all on a spending spree in September and try to get everything out and get a lot of stuff bought, get a lot of inventory into the warehouse. So I mean, this is really last summer weekend officially, the last weekend of summer. So I tried to enjoy it a little bit. So that's me.
Heck yeah, dude. So how's the weather there in Indiana? And you're talking about gearing up for Amazon. I mean, are you just out there constantly buying right now? You have the money to spend, and are you still counting on? Obviously we're all counting on things that sell every day, but did you put yourself in a scenario where you've got some bankroll to play with and kind of roll into this Q4? Because that's one of the topics we're going to talk about tonight is building kind of a bankroll and making sure you get some moolah to spend.
Yeah, I mean that's something I was fortunate. I was able to save. I've been able to save a lot of money coming up into Christmas. I still haven't used that money yet. My actual what I'm going to be spending for quarter four yet. But I mean, I'm just I'm picking up stuff that that I get at a good price that maybe I know I don't mind holding on to till quarter four, and my replenishables too. But I'm just it's trying to get that nice mix, long tail and fast flip. So that's what I've been really doing.
Nice. And what's something recently you sold, Scott?
Actually, I saw. It's funny that I picked up like 20 of these Colts Team NFL Reebok hats at TJ Maxx in January for like $2 a piece.
Nice.
I sent them in. They sold all this weekend, all 20 of them. I don't know.
Wow.
It's just, it's just. I mean, they've been sitting since January at the fulfillment center. I knew they weren't gonna sell. I mean, I figured I'd sell one, but they all sold over the weekend. I think I was selling them for $29.99 a piece, something like that. And I mean, I was the only FBA seller, so it wasn't like I didn't have a buy box. It wasn't people buying Colts hats in the summertime. But football season officially starts this weekend, so that, and then plus I've been selling my little stuff in my eBay store, jerseys. I sold a Michael Vick Falcons jersey. It's crazy. People are buying that stuff now. They want it at a decent price. Some of them, some of the Nike stuff is way more expensive than $300-400 for a jersey. You know what I'm saying? So people are looking for that secondary market for stuff like that.
Heck yeah, that's awesome, dude. There's a quick question. I want to catch this before we move into some other stuff and we get into talking to Arthur, but it's from John Johnson. He says, question, would it be smart for me to spend my entire cash stack, his cheddar stack, right, for Q4? It's got $2,000 plus a bunch of inventory already. My answer is this, right? I don't think you need to go spend that right just yet, right? I mean, we haven't even hit October yet. So, Q4 is one of those funky things because you've got, you got Halloween still. There's potential with Halloween, right? And then Thanksgiving, and then you get in the whole Q4 thing. Looks like Tyler bolted, but hopefully he'll be back. But I think right now, you take that $2,000 and try to find. You got to ask yourself this, and then I'll ask Arthur and Scott. But if you got $2,000 right now, right, and you're saying, hey, that's my savings maybe for this Q4 experience, I think you have enough time to take that money and spend it right now, honestly, and take that $2,000 into $4,000, $5,000, and start investing into some other stuff and leverage it now where. You can have now $7,000 come November, right, or Black Friday. I mean, what's your thoughts, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say take the like you said, take the $2,000 and try to, roll the dice on this is what's gonna sell in quarter four. I would if I have $2,000 right now, I would try to flip it as fast as I could to get into that, because you want to have as much money as possible going into Christmas, Black Friday on Black Friday you want to have as much capital between that time until after Christmas too. You gotta think of that. You just want to have as much money sitting around because you never know what's gonna happen. I was so surprised last year after Christmas, the after Christmas sales. Some of the clearance stuff. It was like after Christmas last year. Walmart didn't wait till February. They started slashing prices like the week after Christmas. They had all that Christmas toys was in the clearance aisle. They were just they wanted to get rid of it. They consolidated earlier than they usually do, and they moved all of that stuff to the clearance stuff. They never done it that early before. So sometimes they keep it up a little while, and if you didn't have the money to take advantage of stuff, I'm talking about Legos, 60-70% off retail price, stuff like that. I mean, if you didn't have the cash, so if you got $2,000 now, I would try to roll it, and to keep it and try to get as much money as you can before that November deadline.
Yeah, I mean, I would really take some of that money. I would just take $1,000, right? I mean, have some kind of money, because even I run into this problem. I'm not trying to say I'm the guru of all gurus or I'm the greatest of all time, right, like Muhammad Ali, but I'll tell you what, you need to have some money, man, no matter what happens come after Black Friday, because I think the Amazon game is obviously get stuff in there for FBA, obviously, right? But I'm a big merchant field guy, toys. I'm not giving up on toys. A lot of people say, oh, there's no money in toys. Well, Star Wars is proving that wrong this weekend, and so that's what I'm saying. There's going to be a lot of opportunities out there for a lot of people out there, and then you have to have capital. If you don't have the capital, you're stuck. But take $1,000 right now. This is what I would do. Take $1,000 and go find some flips, right? Go snipe some video games. Maybe go to the thrift stores. Maybe go look on some local Facebook groups. Buy something up that you know are fast flips, and turn that $1,000 into $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, and build up a bigger bankroll. So when Black Friday comes around, you got now $6,000, right? Anyway, we're going to get into really Amazon here tonight because this is kind of the focus here. But before we do that, I kind of felt like we've neglected my man over here, Arthur,
All
from
right.
What's new with Arthur, man? You were on the show before. You're a big storage auction guy. What's new and exciting with you? Tell us what's happening, man.
It's always exciting with the storage auctions. Summer's usually when more opportunity comes to buy. So that's been my focus, just stocking up on good deals. I did a lot of buying for June and July, and this August I had to take it a little easier. But that's basically it. Just stocking up, having inventory ready to process. Sniping a little, trying to expand a little, but kind of the same old. But it's exciting. It's always something new, something interesting.
Heck yeah, man. So Arthur, I got to ask you this question because I mean we can go on a whole subject here about storage auctions because people are excited about that. I like hearing about that and I want to get more involved with that, especially out here. But like in your area right now, do you find that it's better for storage auctions in New York to be nailing these things in the summertime, or is it the wintertime? Because I'm not saying it's getting cold in New York yet, but you know what I mean. When it starts snowing and stuff, is that the right time to go to a storage auction?
You know what? The last time we had an auction, and it was on a very snowy day, and de Blasio forgot to have the streets plowed. It was a total disaster. So generally, with the weather, you're going to get the headaches with the traffic, the delays.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think it has that much effect because the guys who are serious, they're going to come out anyway, just like we did, and wait an hour in traffic stuck in a gridlock going from one location to the other. I think what happened during the summer, it seems like some people actually literally go on vacation for 3 months in the summer, and for some reason there's usually more units. So there are seasons with storage auctions. It also seems like January and maybe end of December is a little better because most of the people are kind of done focusing on fourth quarter because even storage auction guys kind of know like there's a busy buying season. So that's kind of the adjustment I've made. I mean, you never really know. It would always be a deal, or it just happens to be an auction with a lot of units and nobody's there. But it does really seem like, yeah. I think it's in general for all of reselling. It's like the summer, especially August. I mean, you can find some deals.
Yeah.
No,
I've always thought. Yeah, go ahead, dude. I'm sorry.
That's really it. Yeah.
I just, I think, as a storage auction buyer, you're almost kind of a complete reseller in terms of you never know what you're going to expect, right, out of these units, and you got to prepare yourself. Maybe you could prepare yourself by looking in these units and say, oh, hey, I see that, I can make money off of that. But overall, I think, you've got to just look at everything individually, right, Arthur, and say to yourself, hey, man, there's a bucket of CDs here. These are worth money. There's a bucket of video games, a bucket of toys. Yeah. I mean, is that what you're kind of at, where you're just like a reseller of everything, where it's like, hey, whatever's in this locker, if I score it and I spend $800, I'm just not going to give away these old G.I. Joe guys.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what's in there, but you really do, and I think I mentioned it last time. You kind of have an idea of what generally you'll see in there. So a big thing that happens to be CDs, DVDs, books, video games in terms of like the media aspects, and then you'll generally, with the cell phones, they'll have some old phones in there. Sometimes you get lucky, you get a recent smartphone model. There's usually an iPod or an iPhone, older ones. More than likely they have some issues or they're just worn out because the stuff just doesn't last like it used to be. You get a lot of regular stuff, kitchen stuff is very regular, but then like I had a post of someone who had really nice kitchen stuff, is that she had limited edition KitchenAid, which happens to be worth like $200 to $400. She also has a really nice sewing machine I just uncovered. It was sitting in my garage sale. I was like, I know there was a sewing machine somewhere. It's sitting right there on the table. People are asking me how much. I offered them a deal. I said $50 to $75, but these guys don't want to buy it. But it's like a $200-$300 sewing machine. It's a vintage. I forgot the full name, but it's made in Switzerland. It's a known model among people who are into sewing like crazy. Made in like 1978 or 1980, and yeah, there's people that want the good vintage stuff, the good quality. This is something they look for. I mean, it's made in Switzerland, and those guys don't work cheap.
Oh yeah. Oh for sure, dude. I mean, they make quality stuff. I mean, you start to look at some of the other stuff in these other countries, like Italy, even some parts of Brazil, especially with the furniture. or anything they're putting out, it's quality stuff. And
Yeah.
speaking of that, really quick, I got a question for you, man, because God, I've been on YouTube for I don't know how many years, yapping about reselling this, that, and there's just so many different freaking wavelengths of reselling, right? There's the Amazon, there's CDs, DVDs, video games, going to thrift stores or clothing, and I think one of the most important things is your local game. And I know Scott's been nailing this with him and Bill on his blabs lately about your local game and find out what people want. And I think one of the biggest ones is furniture, dude. Can you talk about that, Arthur? Like, are you finding sofas and end tables? People are buying that shit, dude. Left and right.
Wish I didn't find them, but yeah, New York. I think something like New York City and let's say San Francisco, Boston are more unique because space is limited. I mean, space is more constricted. So to us, furniture, at least where I go, it's more of a headache. But obviously, it's something really nice, or someone needs it. It's worth taking a shot at it. But at least in this area, if you can offer delivery and have a good delivery system, you will make money in furniture. And we just know guys who are good with furniture, especially used furniture, that come into this business, once they kind of cement themselves in a certain area, they're gonna do well because we just let them get furniture. I mean, it's really a question of space. However, you go over to Long Island or upstate New York, it's a different game. People have space, and furniture is something they actively buy. They don't care. Even right in the Bronx, all the Dominicans, they love buying furniture. They sometimes get into bidding wars over furniture, which I don't even understand why and how, but it's just a different aspect. But reality is, people buy furniture. Hey, I just had to put a dresser today from IKEA for my daughter, and I'm like, man, I know this is a piece of crap, but freaking IKEA, IKEA, the dresser, but I know they paid at least a few $100s, and that's something like, if you really look, I can get really cheap on Craigslist because people need to get rid of it, Furniture is a necessity. It is what it is. I think it does depend on your locale, and I think something you slowly start to realize is when you go to these furniture stores like Raymond Flanagan and all these guys, when you're buying their furniture, you're really paying their real estate cost, and then delivery. They try to make money off your delivery. It's not really the furniture that you're paying for. It's really their cost of operation of dealing with it. So. Once you explore that and understand that furniture is really about logistics, being able to properly present it, sell it, advertise it, and work the delivery angle of it, that's when you can really start making money. Because you can always find it pretty cheap or free. People that just need to get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's like when I was back in Chicago and I had my warehouse and my little shop there, I think one of the biggest things looking back on it, the standout was the furniture. We offered delivery. We had no problem delivering it. And 90% of the stuff was going out of the suburbs and going into the city. So, we're selling mid-century modern furniture. People had no problem dropping an extra $100 for delivery charge, and we just put it in the back of a van. And we had to deal with the traffic out there, the snow, right? I remember one story. This lady bought this couch from us. She paid $600 for it, which I was stoked for. I really was. I was like, hey, cool. But it was the middle of winter. It was like January 10th or something crazy. We had to go up the spiral staircase in the ritzy area of Chicago, and I just wanted to throw the thing on the ground, dude. I'm like, fuck this is crazy. I'm not winding this thing up there. Anyway, we got it up there, and it wouldn't fit through the door. We had to actually take out her windows, believe it or not, to get it through her studio. And we did this. We were there for 2 hours. It didn't seem like it was worth it, but at the end of the day, we came home. We had $800, and she was happy, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. But yeah, man, there's money in furniture. You just gotta know what your market needs and what's going on. But all right, yeah. So let's get to showing some items, and we'll get to some of these questions here. I picked up this is pretty cool, guys, and this stuff's moving up in pricing. Really need to look at video games. I know everybody knows about video games, NES, Nintendo. Let's take a Saturn, right? Let's take a Saturn system here. These things are really going for really good money right now, and they're gonna keep climbing. I got it. This is just obviously the unit here, but it's complete. It's got everything I needed to work with it. I mean, this is an easily a $100 bill on Amazon, a Sega Saturn. And are you going to find them every day? Probably not. But you know, you could snipe them. You can find if you find them locally, that's awesome. There's money in it for sure. But I picked this up. I mean, literally $10. And I got a bunch of games, controllers. I got a mess of stuff. But Sega Saturn. I mean, there's the Sega Genesis, which is still good money, you know. And but Sega Saturn, I think, is the primo line when it comes to the Sega. So I was pretty stoked when I got this. Tyler, are you from Alabama, Tyler? Yeah, Sega Saturn.
Sega CD, I think, is more collectible.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean the Sega CD, you know, but the Sega Saturn. I mean, look at these up on Amazon. They're pretty ridiculous, right?
Well, they never made that many, and they break down. But yeah, there's a pretty good collector's market for it. I had a lot of games from a collector, and you know, they like, it's not as, I guess, as well known and revered as the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Which you know obviously is not as expensive because there's a lot more units out there, but there is a pretty strong collector's market for Saturn. I mean, and they have more games and better games than Sega CD. So yeah, definitely look for that.
Yeah, for sure. Really quick shout out. I see Crone says, "Hey, do a shout out to a new listener, Francine from Long Island. What's going on? What's happening? Hopefully, you're out there listening to us resell. Us resellers talking about reselling shenanigans." And Krillin, and all of you guys out there listening live, we're at 100 viewers. We're awesome on a Labor Day weekend, so awesome to have all of you guys. But Tyler, dude, Tyler, are you from Alabama, dude? Why are you wearing an Alabama shirt?
My mom's family is from Alabama, so.
Okay.
I
guess that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. It was a free shirt, so.
There you go. So okay, so Tyler, what do you got to show us today, dude? Because you always got something. By the way, you look like you're buried in shirts. I mean.
Yeah, like more over this way.
Okay.
But,
glad to have you here.
Yeah, thank you. What I got to show, this is Dragon Ball Z GT. I like picking up like these DVD sets and stuff like that. These do really well on Amazon. I paid $7 for this set at the Goodwill on Friday. It looks like it's in really good shape. I haven't actually checked the disc yet because I just bought it and I was going to process everything after the weekend because I did a lot of buying this weekend. But this scanned for like $50-$60 with a really good rank and will definitely move during the fourth quarter. So I like picking up this kind of stuff. Like, especially like this Dragon Ball Z stuff, it's usually like hit or miss. Like for like every 5 or 6 that I find, like one of them is like a really good buy, and the rest of them aren't really worth a whole lot. But this one's a $50 set used on Amazon.
Hey Tyler, are you approved to sell that? Because I think that's over $24.99 or $29.99 market.
Yeah, I actually have been saving up some of this stuff. I'm in the approval process right now, so hopefully find out within the next day or so if I get approved. But I mean, even then, it's still going decent on eBay. But I'm going to try to send it in on Amazon. But that was another thing too. We talked about on one of the blabs was getting ungated in some of these other categories that other people aren't in that can really help you crush the competition in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, no, DVDs, I mean, they really kind of lopsided the market with that gating, but like I have a bunch of Dragon Ball Z, but I'm going to have to put them up on eBay. I just need one more volume to complete a set, but I think, like, when I was looking at it, and I think what the problem is that they would say to you that you're ungated for everything, but you're really not. They literally want 3 invoices for every single item you plan to sell in that thing, which ironically the stuff you really want to sell has been out of print, and it's really hard to get the invoices for it. So I don't know. So when I was investigating that, I just said it's not even worth my time generally, because most of the stuff they gated off with that is worthless anyway. It's really just like the non-print, out-of-print stuff that you can't get, which is the stuff that becomes worth like $50, $100.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty insane.
And I think the thing is like this. Like, I mean, everybody talks about Amazon, and I've gotten a lot of questions this week because I made a video about DVDs. And, you know, yeah, I mean, you got to go down the legit road if you want to be selling $25, $35+ DVDs. And I see Jay says, hey, even 3 wholesale receipts, still not a guarantee. So that's what you have to look at this bigger picture. and this is what I'm trying to be explaining since like day one with Amazon, is Amazon's going to start crunching down on numbers, right? They're going to start crunching down on categories where certain things you're not going to be able to sell. So if you get in now, you're going to be good for a lot of things if you're getting ungated. That's the whole point of ungating. When the ungating happens, you're in. If you're not getting in, you're screwed. And I'm not saying you're going to get screwed with the DVDs. Here's the thing now. I mean, if you want to be approved to sell DVDs, you have to have some kind of resource, some wholesale license where you're buying legit stuff. And if it's not the road you want to go down to sell a couple anime DVDs down the road, sell them on eBay. There's still money there, right? So that's what you can understand. I hear these people all the time in their Facebook group, oh my God, how do I get approved? Well, the approval process is not easy anymore, man. It's not easy, and it's never going to be easy anymore for that. And it's just going to break down for every other category. So that's why you need to get in now. And yeah, awesome, Tyler. The anime stuff, man, is worth some coin, dude. Look at everything that's out there. I mean, wouldn't you, Tyler? If you see something that looks like anime, are you going to scan it or just say, I'll leave it for somebody else?
Yeah, I check it all, and I do find the VHSs from time to time. They're a little more rare to find them in a VHS, but, I mean, they're still out there.
Yeah. I sent some in, like, 2 months ago. They weren't worth much, but they're like 10, 15. I just knew right off the bat that there's a market for it. Some of the stuff never made it to DVD, or it's a different cut.
I mean, there's a lot of... Go ahead, Arthur.
Anime is hot. I mean, not all of it's going to be good, but it's a niche market. It is, but they buy. They want their stuff. I'm selling a bunch of it right now. So
yeah, I mean, Amazon is, in my opinion, the mecca of the reselling market, the third-party market for them. And I see you guys in the chat. You're talking, hey, yeah, get approved now, because if you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting, it's gonna get more difficult. Like, I mean, I heard some foolishness this week about Star Wars. Hey, the only way you're going to get approved for Star Wars, you have to be a millionaire. I'm approved, and I'm not a millionaire. So I've just, I run businesses. I run licensed businesses, and I buy through wholesalers, and I get approved just fine. I'm crushing with Star Wars, right? And that's the difference, right? It depends on who you're listening to and whose advice you want to hear, right? It's not impossible to get approved for Star Wars, but you just can't go to freaking Walmart and say, hey, Amazon, here's 3 BB-8 receipts. They don't give a shit about that anymore. Those days are over, right? And this is going to happen, a crackdown in every category. And that's why right now, because Amazon's growing, it's not going away, just get approved if you want to be in those categories. I mean, what do you think, Scott? I mean, this is the future. I mean, this is a good thing for us because we don't have, there's going to be less competition. That's the only reason why we get ungated, right?
Yeah, it's like I said, we always say before, it's the gold rush right now. I mean, you need to get out ahead of it. You sitting around like, oh, I need to get engaged, I need to do this and that. Then it's going to come a time. I think in the future they're going to start gating more and more of these categories where they want to see people that are legitimate business owners, have a business license, and running it like a real business that want to sell on their platform. And I mean, it's going to happen. I mean, they shut down beauty and groceries last year, right?
Yeah.
And so I mean, they're going to eventually start doing that with all the categories. So I mean, I don't know. It's no competition to clothing like that. I know that.
Yeah. Well, I think they need to. Scott, don't you think they need to? Man, you see all this nonsense with the gaming consoles, the nonsense people put up. I think almost like they need to,
They're going to eventually. They're going to look for people that's professionals.
Yeah.
I've showed examples before, and people are like, I don't see a problem with that. Well, that's the reason you don't need to be selling on Amazon. If you think it's okay to sell something that they put in the condition notes, it may or may not work. And you just say you don't see a problem with that, then you're the reason there's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So
that's true.
I mean, it's going to get to a point where video games, toys, they're going to require you to just be a professional seller, and they're going to make it harder and harder to get unlocked in these categories. So,
dude, I watched the video the other day, and I'm not trying to rag on people. I mean, to each his own. If you're making money, that's awesome. But again, if the listing for an NES system says it comes with 2 controllers and an AC adapter, and you're just bragging about on YouTube about, oh yeah, I just sold the console for $45. Dude, you're in trouble. You're going to be in trouble if you keep acting up that way, right? Trust me. Mm-hmm. Trust me. Mark my words, right? It's happening. It's moving forward. And these listings, when they say a CD combo 500 disc freaking changer, and it comes with a remote, make sure you have a remote.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you throw it out there and you say, well, it doesn't come with a remote, because obviously it's so easy for us to take a picture of it and say it doesn't include a remote. I mean, this is what's it's really dragging Amazon's business, because it's a lack of responsibility of the sellers. Exactly. Listen to the rules, and if you follow them, you make some serious money. If you're not going to follow them, and you're going to say, hey, it's the control, it's the NES system, but there's no AC cord, and it's in bold lettering on their freaking. Nobody gives a shit about that. But guess what? I'll tell you what. Right now,
the condition's very good. The condition's very good, though.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, very good
console
condition.
Only.
Yeah, console only, very good condition.
Very good.
Yeah, these you know what they are? They're kids. They're kids on YouTube that come out there. Oh yeah, you just poured it all out. Yeah, well, trust me, your day's going to come and you won't be able to sell anything, and you'll be irrelevant. So, not trying to rag on anybody.
I mean, the buyers are paying, and I'm a Prime member myself. We're paying up for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We want, that's why we're paying up. So you have to cater to that when you're doing this. Even with something mundane like books, or even CDs. I got a whole CD freaking, learning experience over the last month, which, I mean, I can talk about it briefly. And I think they're getting more and more strict. There's more and more sellers. You could see them. And, they're shaking the tree. Like, there's a wave of suspensions because it looks like they stricten up their algorithm and people are complaining. I mean, yeah, and unfair stuff happens, obviously, because it's so automated. But I can see where they're coming from because I'm seeing these listings. And I'm sometimes buying from these people, even on Amazon. And I'm like, listen, this wasn't listed right. You can't list it as like new when you're missing a small component out of the package, even though it's mint condition.
I mean, you get the people that say, oh, I sell N64s like that all day long, minus the controllers, the AC adapters. Well, it's just a matter of time for you, and people are going to be pissed off because, let's face it, right? We live in 2015 here, right? And people don't read. They don't really care to read. They just click and buy, right? And really, Amazon's designed that way. Buy box, cool, I'll buy that. Click. And then next thing you know, a fucking N64 shows up with no cords, no controller. Dude, I'd be pissed.
Right. But yeah, I mean, but the condition notes aren't meant to be a description of what's missing, and people are that's the problem. People are misusing that box to like it's an eBay description, and that's not what it's meant for.
Well, it's not. They're not required to be read. They basically
exactly.
So it puts us in a weird position because I think when they're listing acceptable console only, I think that's fine because every category is different. If it's a tested console cords only, not that I would do it, but when they do that, let's say I'm looking for that and they're pricing it properly, I want to be a buyer for that. So there is like some of us buyers, but it looks like the way they structured the rules is that acceptable is the only time you can start messing around what's included and what's not. And I've made that mistake myself, so now I have to adjust a lot of what I do. Because it wasn't like 3-4 years ago. It was a lot more. There was less sellers, but it was a lot more relaxed in a way.
Yeah.
And now it's becoming tighter and tighter. There's a lot more buyers, and these are the current generation offer-up buyers, which are just clicking photos, essentially. So you have to find
Jeff nails it. The condition notes are for defects or describe your item, right? I mean, when you're saying you've got an NES system that's in very good condition, and it's just a console only, I mean, that's ridiculous. You're breaking the law, right? I mean, right, Tyler? Somebody's got to be the Amazon police here. I mean, if Jeff Bezos can't do it, I mean, sign me up, right? And I'll just start hammering down. And I'll just be like, dude, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go. And this is all for the greatness for all of us. This is the great part about it all. If we follow the rules and understand the condition notes, life's good, right? I mean, I see people selling disc only. Hey, it's Final Fantasy, whatever, on PS2, disc only, very good condition, like new. How? It's only the disc. I mean, what do you think? What's your thoughts, Tyler, on that before we move on to the next subject?
Yeah, I think that, with the parting out the consoles and stuff like that, I've seen for some of them there's actually like separate listings for that where people can just go buy the console. But yeah, I think when you list something like that and it says like right there in the description of what the way everybody else is selling it has one controller, power cord, AV cord, that you need to follow those guidelines because a lot of times when people buy on Amazon, they're just clicking around. They don't really read the description, and some of these people don't even put a description out for them to read. So they need to adhere by that, and I think those people that are doing that are going to get kicked off Amazon, and so they're going to get weeded out one way or another. So
I think so too. I just think, follow the guidelines, follow the path of where it's going. If you want to do console only, then create a listing, man. It's not difficult. Buy some freaking barcodes and run off with it, right? I mean, that's it. Buy some barcodes. What is it going to cost you? $20 for 200? Buy them. Why are you being so cheap? List it. It's easier to list on Amazon than it is eBay. I mean, it really is. Anyway, Scott, did you show your... Yeah, or sell locally, dude. You want to sit there and sell N64, if you want to be on a listing that's got N64 games or a system with 2 controllers and it comes with Mario or whatever it is, because there is listings like that. Comes with 2 controllers and Mario. And it might be ranked the lowest rank out there. And then you see the people, hey, I just got the console. Hey, it's all good. I'm just here. Those, these aren't people that are taken seriously. I like to take my business seriously. I like to describe what I have. This is what I have. I want to be in the right listings. And, God, we can go on for the next hour about this. The people changing the 2-packs on Amazon, 3-packs. Some guy creates a listing. Hey, here's a listing of 3 shampoos. And he gets all pissed off because, everybody undercut him. So now he changed it from 3-pack to 6-pack. But you're still trying to sell a 3-pack, but the buyer looks at it and says, it says in the bullet point 6-pack. Just create your own freaking listing and move on. Anyway, Scott. Did you show your item already, dude?
No, not yet.
All right, let's get into that.
I showed you guys this, but I'll show it here. I picked up this sports specialty hat.
Ooh.
It's a
oh shit.
Chicago Bulls. 3P. Well, the Cubs ain't 3P nothing. Chicago Bulls 3P. White hat. It's in really good condition. It's got a little bit of sweat on the inside. Sports specialties. I always look for that. And, this is nice. I don't even have to do nothing but take a picture of this and list it.
That's nice.
Whoever
is
has
that the patch one? Is that the front of that? Is that a patch?
Yeah, that's the patch.
Nice. Ooh, it's light.
Yeah.
That's nice, dude. I had one of those when I was a kid.
Yeah, I think everybody had one of these. Yeah. So all I gotta do is take a picture of that. I don't have to clean. I might clean up the brim a little bit just to get in touch. But I mean, that's it's a $75 hat easily.
Heck yeah, dude. Easily. There's a comment here from William. He says, Amazon even sells the stuff like that where their listing is not clear. And yeah, it's Amazon Sandbox. They can do what they want. And I'm just saying. I guess where I was coming at with all this is just be careful, guys, because I'd hate for you guys to lose your responsibility, lose your platform, Amazon, when really right now it's the #1 platform when it comes to the stuff that's on Amazon. So yeah, Amazon warehouse deals. That's why their feedback ratio is 88% or something like that. But it's Amazon. They can do whatever.
It's not actually Amazon. It's a third party. They're just
Is it really?
Yeah, and they're just this giant warehouse. And their contract
are you sure for that?
Out by Amazon. Yeah, it's them. I guess it's them with a contractor doing. You know what I mean? So it's not really Amazon's employee. It's a third party. But I guess they get special protections or whatever because look at their feedback. I've ordered stuff from them, and yeah, things. Listen, when you're dealing with used, reopened merchandise, things get messy, and they're paying you guys minimum wage to do this. Well, now you know how really it's difficult to sell on Amazon when you're dealing with like used or questionable new merchandise, and keep a high feedback ratio because Amazon warehouse can't really do it, but they also do a lot of volume, so you got to look at it that way. Yeah.
That's interesting. So, Arthur, what do you got to show us today, dude?
I sold. I got a couple fashion sneakers, I guess. They're Reeboks, but they're Swiss Beats, like a Swiss Beat edition. Yeah, I sold them for $50, free shipping. These are used. It took less than a month to sell, but the inside is gold. I don't know if you can see it, but bling
Oh yeah.
bling, bling bling sole and everything. Yeah, but I try to work with a lot of sneakers, boots. I like names like Nike and Timberlands because they're consistent sellers. This is a little bit different, but really in the same category, same price level. Generally, Reeboks are not really worth dealing with on eBay, but
Hmm.
these are more unique. It depends, but they're not as a solid name as Nike. Nike's very consistent. Plain regular Nikes hold their value pretty well. $50, 30. Then they start getting collectible. Obviously, you can get $1,000 Jordans, but that's more like treasure stuff.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, in terms of clothing, if you break it down, honestly, I think, well, I know for me, shoes are my number one seller when it comes to clothing. I mean, it seems like they sell a lot more. Tyler, you deal with clothing. I mean, what do you think sells faster, a good pair of shoes or a Pendleton shirt?
Right now, for me, I would say the shoes.
Hmm.
So, I mean, that Pendleton, that market, unless you got something like really unique, like an Indian pattern or something like that, that stuff moves really quick for me. But the plain stuff, not really. No, it's kind of tanked.
Why do you think they're tanked, Tyler? Why do you think some clothing brands tanked? Just be honest.
Honestly, I think it was all these stupid guides that were getting posted about it. I'm not gonna lie.
The nutbags running around trying to get you into the next ebook. Is that what they do?
Yeah, they were all talking about like the same like 5 or 10 brands that they kept just advertising all the time, and it's just like eventually, this market is gonna dry up, and it pretty much has for the most part. I mean, like I said, some of the stuff is still rare and collectible, and you're gonna make money off of it. But for the most part, just the regular stuff it's tanked. I don't even deal with it. I used to get real excited when I saw Pendletons. Now it's like I just keep going through. So it's like, nope.
Yeah. I think they're worth picking up if you get them for $1 too. But if they're $7.99, like you see at thrift stores, yeah, it's the old pass them by. But
Yep.
yeah, it's just that things change. You got to adapt to it, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, so Arthur, dude, show us an item that I know you showed us that one that's sold, but do you have another item that you
I
recently
got
picked
something
up?
for you. Yeah,
Oh shit!
I got a
Boy.
scarf. Winter Classics,
Oh.
Wrigley Field, and I got the patch that I know Mike likes, Chicago
There you go.
Blackhawks. Yeah, it's NHL forever, but I've actually had this for a while. Finally got around to listing it. I mean, I only put it up like $30-something because
The Detroit D on there too.
yeah, Detroit. Oh yeah, no. See, it took me a little while, but I just thought it was cool. I knew it was worth listing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
that'll
know.
sell pretty quick.
Yeah, it's not, from what I noticed, not too active. It's kind of hard to find comparables, but I just thought it was interesting. I remember you talking about it too. But I've had this for a while. Finally got around. Let me see. This is a good. Speaking of clothing, here's the Ralph Lauren that's actually worth dealing with. It's the rugby line.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you guys see this one's Japan. You could just tell from the quality of the way it's made. I mean, this was actively worn.
Mm-hmm.
You got the 9.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, I had, this was from a storage unit I got where I had a lot of this rugby stuff. The guy was, I don't know, I guess he knew his brands. I kept a couple items for myself, and this is one I just took a little while to list, but I listed this one for $75 or best offer. So I think
Yeah, that's a nice piece. I
yeah.
hate to say, I mean, it's worth money because it's a little bit rarer. It's not the typical, and it's got the full embroidery, dude. I mean, you could just see some guy from Japan just
well made. Well, it's just worth having. I mean, I would even consider keeping it, but it's white. I don't want to. White things will get too dirty. And I guess one more item, something I'm just listing now. It's a book. If you look this up, I mean, I guess I should post a link, but lowest price is $224, merchant fulfilled. Esquire's Encyclopedia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's. I was actually surprised so much. This is an ex-library copy, but it's from some guy who was like fashion, doing something with fashion. You never know. But yeah, probably the best item today that I had to deal with. I'm gonna list it for like 275, and I have to do acceptable condition because ex-library you pretty much have to do that.
Yeah.
So there's a hint when you're doing books that's actually, even if it's in great condition, you really should be, anything ex-library, ex-school, you should list as acceptable just to be safe. Because some of these people will flip out, believe me. I've had some of these buyers take their grading conditions very serious, and they don't care what you write. If it's a good quality book and they get an excellent condition ex-library, they'll say this is not good.
Yeah, that's a great tip. I mean, don't mess around with that. Just go for it, and it's acceptable. Tell them it's ex-library. That's what I do. A lot of times I take pictures of it if it's worth more than $25 on the book.
I'm putting up 6 photos in there, just to be sure. And this is, I think in general in something like that, you're not gonna have one-click bid purchase. I mean, these people will look. They're gonna look at the description. They're gonna read what they're getting. I mean, this is not a book that sells every day. I think the rank's at least 1 million. I think at 1.4, which is that's actually good for something like this. And it's not a cheap item. It's not selling every day.
And that's why I got into books, is because it's a great addition to the rest of my business, right? Where that long tail flips and this thing moves here, it moves there, it's ranked 3 million. But I'm not a focused bookseller. I'm just not going to book sales and collecting a bunch of books. That's not my business, right? I know there's other people out there that do that. This is not my thing. I mean, if I come across them, yeah, great. They're a great addition when they do sell, but I don't think I can live a full-time income just selling books. I mean, Tyler, do you think you can find enough books to sell full-time and make a full-time living selling books?
Not in my area, no. I know people in other areas of Michigan that are doing that, like buying and selling books, but they're in like bigger cities and stuff like that where they have more opportunities to do that. But with my business model, I mean, I still do sell books, but it's not a big chunk of what I'm doing. So
Scott, I mean you just sit at Goodwill for 24 hours and scan books. I mean, is there that much money in books where it's like the next gold bar?
It's not enough books in my area for me to make a full-time living doing it. So I mean, I'm in the same position as Tyler. I mean, I live in a fairly big area, living in the Chicagoland area, but I think it's a combination of that with just so many other booksellers, with the fact that I really don't want to do it. So you mix in, I don't really care about selling books with the fact that I don't look for books like that. So it's not nothing I really want to do. So
yeah, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from getting into books. There's money in books for sure. It's just got to be in the right area, and you got to have an abundance of it. I mean, there's no doubt about that. You got to have some abundance of it. It's like clothing. If you're going to deal with thrift store clothing, you got to have abundance. I mean, and everybody's full-time living is different than across the board from everybody. I mean, some people are like, hey, I'm a full-time seller, and they make $600 a month. I couldn't pay my bills here, but with that, but I don't know about you, Arthur. I mean, could you just sell? Do you think you could sell just only books in New York and just crush it?
I guess I could, but not with the setup I have now, because you basically have to change how you operate. But it's definitely doable. I don't know how sustainable it is, but there's I mean, the stuff is out there. You just have to. I think you have to get your inventory in large chunks because you just gotta know what you're buying. You gotta get used to it. I mean, going around and scanning stores, I don't know. I have not really. I usually get it in other ways. A lot of times I get them from free, take it off the people I do the business with. But they know I go for books, so I will buy a room with books if I like the type of books that I see. But I think right now on Amazon it's about 1/3 of the revenue. I do 1/3 or 1/4. It just depends because I think right now I'm doing more video games and CDs. But yeah, it's doable. It's not exciting. I think you guys had a guest that kind of gave a good perspective, like how they approach it. It's a lot of volume and it's a lot of like $7, $8 to $12 books. You'd be surprised they actually do sell. I don't know. You just gotta decide if you're into it. It's really not. I mean, it is interesting, but it's not as interesting as video games.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I said, I mean, it's not something. They're just not out here by me that I see enough of them. They weren't in Illinois either. I mean, that was by colleges. but I don't overlook them. I find them and I see the opportunities and I go for them. But at the same point in time, I just don't find enough to keep replenishing them. I guess that's what I'm saying. So
I think building it up to a certain level does get difficult because you got to do you got to do serious volume. And this stuff gets heavy. Transferring it becomes a pain.
Yeah.
Shipping it into Amazon, you send it in a 5-pound book. All this stuff. But listen, there are definitely booksellers out there. Those guys have all different ways of disposing it. Even the books that are not worth Amazon, I'm actually sell mine really cheap to this guy who's somehow able to go up to Connecticut and he flips it out. He's telling me oh man, they paid that much for it. I'm like, really? But what are they doing with it? I don't know. You'd be surprised what's out there. I think if someone's interested in trying it out, look, you can get them for free. Just get them for free, process them. Do that. You'll find stuff. You can always get rid of this stuff. The books, they're like a bulky item, so.
Yeah, I think if you go to Google and just type in top 10 Amazon sellers of 2015 or 2014, you can even go back, and these blog posts pull up, and you'll notice that these sellers, majority of them sell books. So it's not like I'm trying to bash books, guys. I mean, there's money in books for sure, but look up that really quick if you're interested in getting into that business, and maybe you're you see a plethora of books out there because some of the biggest sellers on Amazon are booksellers. So,
Apex Media, I think that's a big one. They rent books also.
Yeah. There's a couple booksellers. I think there's 3 or 4 that are in the top 10 overall religiously on Amazon as old-time sellers, right, across the board. So there's definitely money there, but there's volume. I mean, you just can't. Go to your Goodwill and go, hey, I got freaking $20 and they're worth $25,000. I'm gonna make $25,000. It doesn't work that way. Trust me. Next thing you know, you're like, hey, wait a minute, I got checked in, and you see these people sometimes. Hey, I got all these books. They were worth $25,000, but I haven't sold one in a month. Hey, just understand how books work. All right, so let's get into some questions here. We got one from from Joseph Day, the profit boss in the house. He says, with fulfillment distribution centers lag times crushing or causing your inventory to go backordered for a week or more, and then dealing with 20 new FBA sellers on the item, so pretty much what Joseph's saying here is, all right, there's all these distribution points. There's all these fulfillment centers, and then there's the fulfillment center that sends it to another fulfillment center, and then you get the whole back-ordered process, right? Mm-hmm. It can be very, very frustrating. Luckily for me out here, recently I don't have to deal with that. I can kind of talk about it a little bit, because originally when I came out here, I was dealing with that where you send something in, and it would take 11 days to get checked in, and it's active, and it would sell, and you get the money. Tyler, I know you're yawning there. Do you ever deal with the back-ordered stuff where you're sending it to an actual distribution center, not the actual Amazon fulfillment?
I haven't really noticed that. I've been when I do my shipment stuff, it's saying it's going to the fulfillment center, and my stuff's getting checked in within a week. So not up by where I'm at and where I'm sending them. I've been noticing I've been sending a lot to Chattanooga and a place out in Virginia or Pennsylvania, one of the two. That's where most of my stuff is going right now.
Yeah, you're pulling the straight fulfillment centers in. I mean, I've been pulling the distribution center because the notorious one, the Hebron, Kentucky CBG3. That is definitely a distribution center, and I've been pulling that one for the last 3 or 4 months, and that's what made me go to my shipping every day type of routine, because my stuff is getting there within 12 hours. If I drop it off at 5, my stuff is getting delivered, usually that morning, or that afternoon. So it's getting there between 12 and 14 hours. But it's taking an extra 5 days before it goes live. So for me to have to adjust the way I do it. I can't stack up, ship me a box and then ship out once a week, because then it's going to delay my inventory. So now I'm shipping every day, to stagger it out. So I'm always having stuff going live. I have to do that. I can't wait and ship once a week, because if I do that, then one of my payouts is going to be 0. So I get basically one payout a month, because then I'll be waiting forever. It'll be a big lull in my inventory. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how it goes. I've had to adjust. I know people say, "Oh, you wasted shipping money." It's not really. I'm shipping a 30-pound box for $4. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it doesn't affect my bottom line. So.
The one thing that I experienced with that when I was sending these places, because it's like a suckhole over there, honestly. I mean, there's nothing like, you know, the excitement of getting the boxes together. They go out the door, and the next thing you know, you're going to one of these distribution points, and it's like, oh my God, it's taken 8 days. It sucks, right? The only solution that I know of, and I'm going to get into this a little bit more, is just to do the inventory placement, because the inventory placement, in my experience, goes to the actual fulfillment, right? That's the one solution to that. The second is you know what? You're just going to have to deal with it, because Amazon's going to get to a point in a year from now or 2 years from now where there's going to be so many fulfillment centers that, like, luckily for me right now, Phoenix has been like a lifesaver. It used to be the worst nightmare in the world because I could never send anything there. And now it's finally getting there, and I think that's where Amazon, the bigger picture is going to be, is that if you are local, it's going to send it to your local establishment, your local fulfillment, and life's going to be killer, right? And that's just what I think. I don't know if that's the truth or whatever. That's just what I see their vision of. Hey, yeah, it makes more sense to you know, these UPS trucks to just ship it to the local one, right? Yeah, even though, you know, Boston might need it or the East Coast might need that shipment, it just makes more sense logistically for Amazon. But right now they're just trying to. I mean, they've got the establishment of all these warehouses, and they're trying to get everything here and here and here and here. But in a couple of years from now, I don't think that's going to play a part. I think if you're in Indiana, it's going to Indiana. You know, if it's going to Kentucky, it's going to Kentucky. I mean, what do you think, Arthur? I mean, do you ever deal with you know, some of the stuff where you're sending it in and it's like, oh my God, it's been 10 days.
I actually had quite a scenario just happen with a really nice item, but in general, I send mixed inventory pretty much all the time. I mean, not every shipment, but it doesn't really bother me much. I know they're always moving stuff around. I mean, to the point where I don't even care to pay for the inventory placement. I'd rather just send it wherever it sends it, because we're always adding stuff. It's always throwing things around. I've been lucky to send a lot of stuff to, like, Virginia, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee. Those are good ones. Right now I got to send some stuff to California. It is what it is. But I've noticed lately they've been doing a lot of these transfers, and in particular I sniped an NES action set with some games, complete in box. So I prepped the NES action set, full everything, 6 photos. You know, I put it up for $2.99, which I'll definitely go for that once before. So it gets there, it gets checked in right away, it gets taken out into reserve. They're sending it to California. As soon as it gets to California, it's misplaced. It never went up for sale. It's been like 10-15 days. I personally think somebody there just knows how to work the system. They saw the item and they're like, I want that, because, and they, I don't know. I think there's people know how to work the system there with Amazon. I'm already kind of figuring out the games they can play with these transfers and double scanning an item and then fixing it. So yeah, stuff does happen, and that's actually once a lot of the stuff gets lost. Just by, you know, this is a big item that I sent in, but let's say smaller items. I think these warehouse transfers is where items will get lost. You're gonna get a reimbursement. Likely you're not gonna like the reimbursement, but you're just gonna have to price it into the cost of doing business, because look at how many different items we're dealing with, and I think there's at least double the fulfillment warehouses than there were, let's say, 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I'm seeing new ones all the time. So
they're popping up left and right, and they're just going to keep continuing to move forward. Yeah. And that's where the answer, I think, the right answer for this question from Joseph is inventory placement, right? I honestly, truly believe that's the answer, because that's the way you're going to get to one fulfillment center. And yes, is that going to cost you extra money? Yes, it is. But what are you sending in? Are you doing retail arbitrage for 10% ROI? That's not your game then, man.
They're going to be
the ballpark.
I think what they say is that you send it there, and then they're going to send it out to different warehouses. So it's still going to lock up your inventory. I think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly. I think maybe they hold some there. It's a preferred location. I don't know, but I did notice that. Yeah, they're going to start. They're basically, you send it to one place, and they redistribute.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I mean, Oki Silver Dude says it the best. It's such a minimum cost right now to send this stuff to one place where just do it, right? I mean, like Nike, just freaking do it. I mean, if you're sending long tail books that'll rank millions, 2 millions, yeah, that can cost a lot of money over time, right? Inventory placement. But if you've got hot selling items with really good margins, I think just go for it. It's not that much money. I mean, Tyler, you ever mess around with inventory placement?
No, not really.
Okay.
I think what is it? I think it's really catering to people just want to always have like a certain amount shipment going out instead of breaking it up. So I guess if it's just, I've looked at it. I said it doesn't really matter to me much. But if you're always, I guess if you're working with a lot of replenishables, I think that's when you really should be using it. Because you know what you're shipping out, you roughly know how many items. You went out, you just got it, and thrown it in a box of which you have 100 of, and like Mike Nagel, he's got like 100 box, same size. I think that's really what it's structured for. So
it really is. A lot of times the boxes themselves cost more than inventory placement. If you think about it, if you're buying boxes, or I mean, Oki says here his bubble wrap costs more, and yeah, that's the truth. I mean, hashtag the truth. You know, so just maybe look at that in your business and see if that maybe makes a better decision for yourself, where you do the inventory placement, you can send it, and it goes to the next state over, right? But I truly believe this. In the year, maybe 2 or 3 years from now, everybody's going to be shipping locally through UPS, because right now this is Amazon's biggest downfall, is their shipping costs. They're getting hammered with it. They're losing billions, millions, and millions of dollars every year doing this, because they have amazing rates. Where else can you ship something, a big freaking box of 40 pounds, for $7 from Arizona to Florida? It just it doesn't exist. So they're absorbing this cost, and they're going to have to get it back. And the only way they're going to get it back, because they're not stupid, is they're building these inventory placement centers, right? They're building these centers over there. So I think, like I said, a year, 2, you just be shipping to, like if you're in Phoenix, like where I'm at, everything's going to go to Phoenix. And what do you think, Scott? I mean, that seems logical to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what they want to go to. I mean, I think it's 3 or 4 fulfillment centers in Indiana, alone. But I've sent them. I've used them in the past. It's a few around the Indianapolis area. There's a couple in southern Indiana, and there's a couple right on the border between Indiana and Kentucky. I would love to be able to get those fulfillment centers on a daily basis still. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on lately with me. Like, even if I put inventory placement on, I'm still pulling the same fulfillment centers. So, I mean, what do I pay, 30 cents to send it to the same place that I'm going to pay the $4 to ship it to anyway? I mean, I don't know. That doesn't really make sense either to me. I mean, if I was getting Chattanooga or the Plainfield IND1, I think, and the Chattanooga CHA1, if I was getting those when I did inventory placement, I would use it. But I think they'd be going to the future, is they're going to be like, look, all of your stuff is going to your closest fulfillment center, So I hope they do that. That would be awesome.
I think it'd be great. I mean, our stuff gets checked in immediately within 24 hours. I mean, especially out here in Phoenix, I could send something at 1:30 in the afternoon, and the next morning it's checked in like a boss, like a freaking boss, Tyler. All right, so let's move to the next question. Appreciate the comment, Joseph, for sure. That's the Profit Boss in the house. He's got a YouTube channel, Profit Boss. Check him out. He's also one of the admins of the Resellers Roundtable Facebook group, which is a free Facebook group for anybody that's out there that's not part of that. The group's growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing, and hopefully people in there. All right, so the next question we're going to move to is from Todd. He says, how big electronic... Okay, wait, I'm going to read this wrong here. How do big electronic receivers, speakers, VCRs do during Q4? Anybody want to jump in on that one? What's your thoughts with some of these receivers, these speakers? I get through my 2 cents in really quick and say that the shit sells, right?
Yeah. They sell good outside of Q4. So I mean, it's just a natural thing to say they're going to sell good during Q4 when more eyes are on the website. I mean, you'd be surprised at how many VCRs sell in one day. You know what I'm saying? And VCRs and regular DVD players and shit like that. So just imagine when it's 20 million more people watching the website every day than there are on a regular day. So I mean, yeah, go look at the ranks of some of these VCRs. They're like 2, 3. You know.
Yeah, and here's the question, right? Okay, so here's the question for somebody who's out there going, okay, I see this VCR I've got. It's ranked 10. How many does that sell a day? I don't even have the answer for that. I bet it's a shit ton. Tyler, what do you think? Rank 10.
10 electronics?
10 electronics? A VCR combo? How many, Tyler?
I have no idea, but like going back to the Soda Stream things that I had, I mean, they were ranked like in kitchen, they were ranked like almost 2,000, and I sold out of all of them in like a half an hour, you know? So, I mean, some of those categories, I mean, two in electronics, I have no idea. I don't think you could buy enough to keep, you know, keep feeding it to where you, I don't know. Two, I just don't know.
It's a shit ton.
Yeah,
more than we can find in a day. I think.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's a lot of the stuff. As soon as it goes to the warehouse, it goes pending. So.
Yeah. But there's big money in that stuff year round, like Scott was saying. Obviously in Q4, I mean, you know, these October, November, December months, everything sells for more, and there's more demand, like Scott said, because there's more eyes on it, right? I mean, how many eyes are on Amazon? Who knows? 50 million? 60 million? 100 million? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Crazy.
A billion? I don't know. All I know is that they keep buying this shit for me, and then my stuff keeps going pending, and I keep getting checked, so life's good. Arthur, what's your thoughts, man? On do you hold? Okay, here's the question for you, Arthur. Do you hold electronics for Amazon? You might find a killer cassette deck or a killer VCR combo, and let's just say it's February. Right? Are you holding off on that item to sell in November, December, or are you just going to let it freaking fly right now?
Just throw it in. Why not?
Yeah.
It's electronics. Electronics are a big present item, so you're just going to see a natural bump in Q4. It's not like I'm sending in tons of electronics, but anything I have, it's a pretty active category. From what I hear, it's growing, especially the vintage electronics are really growing on Amazon, so... I don't think it's anything like toys. I think it's just a good, solid item that becomes more in demand because people are getting them as presents.
Yeah, I mean, even look at record players. I mean, even if it's vintage and you're like, hey, there's no listing for it or whatever, list it, man. I'm telling you. I mean, people are freaking. Trust me, there's a lot more viewerships, and buyers on Amazon than there is eBay, and obviously. I'm going to say this, and people are going to get offended or whatever, but at the end of the day, there are better deals, obviously, for the buyers on eBay, but obviously, some of these buyers don't give a shit anymore. They went to Amazon, hey, $250 for that receiver, I'm taking that, even though they could have got it for $130 on eBay. That's just the mentality of it. It's the convenience of it. Hey, I'm a Prime member, 2 days? So in 2 days, I can rock out my Heavy D and the Boys cassette tape on this new cassette deck player? I'm in. I got crisscrossed. I got a bump here, you know? Shit. A
lot of people, it's not the $10, $20, $30, $40 is not worth their time. That's basically what it is. Even though it should be, you would think, but it's not. And especially, like, let's say they're buying it, they want a cassette, they want a boombox for a party or for a show. They just want it there, so... They're not going to go shop around eBay looking for the right seller that's going to ship it fast enough and give them a better price. They're just going straight to Amazon, Prime, one-day shipping. So
and it's guaranteed.
It's guaranteed as it is, and they know if there's any issue, they can return. And hey, they can even use it for a week and return it for a full refund. But that's not what most of them do, honestly. But yeah, it is what it is.
There was a question here I saw. Has anybody sold artwork from legitimate artists on Amazon? My answer to that, no. I'm sure that's a whole market that is popping right now, or it's going to pop. I mean, Tyler, what's your thoughts? I mean, you know, we go to the thrift stores, Tyler. I mean, me and you are kind of the same mold. I think that's where we get along, and I think that's why a lot of people watch this stuff like that, because we're all kind of the same people, and it's like, man, you know, whatever we can freaking pick up, right? But I see this as a market where on Amazon, prints, rare prints are going to be worth money. I mean, Scott showed me something on Etsy where I'm like, dude, that freaking rocks with the Star Wars stuff. You know? But Tyler, do you see a market for rare artist prints, paintings on Amazon? I don't know too much about it, so I can't speak. too much about it.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it, but I can see that being something that category will grow in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know. I mean, there's just so many. That's the thing. You just like I feel like in the last couple months, like my eyes have just been open to so many more opportunities with this reselling business. It's like I've been overwhelmed, and it's really been popping, and I am just so excited for this upcoming fourth quarter, and it's just going to be great. So I mean, I looked at some of my numbers from last year to this year. I'm over like almost quadrupled what as far as inventory goes than what I had last year in some of my areas. So I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, this is an exciting time of year because it's like things are going to start popping. Everything's going to start moving. Tyler's going to be talking to us a month from now about all those plush he bought, and they all sold out. It's just going to be amazing.
Most of them are selling out now. I'm surprised, man.
All right, so talk about the plush, dude, because you bought a shit ton. We've been talking about it in the show. You showed it in the group. Is that stuff selling for you, or is it just like a myth?
It is. I had one that, like, okay, when I first pulled it out of the bag, it looked like just like an ordinary little 8-inch teddy bear. And I looked at the tag, and it was an actual replica of the Snuggles bear. And it had like a rank of like 500,000 or something like that. And so I looked at what they were selling for, merchant fulfilled and whatnot. No FBA. A lot of this plush, there's like no FBA. And I slapped $30 on it. I went like $10 higher than the merchant fulfilled guy. It got checked in, and it sold within 12 hours of being checked in. And I was just like, my mind was blown. I still got so much more to send in. I got a bunch that I have to create my own listings for, but a bulk of what I did send in already had listings, so I did that, and then I'm going to go back through later and start taking pictures and making some listings for them. But it's just crazy, and that's one of the big things over the last couple months that's really popped for me is this whole plush thing. I never would have thought of it until you guys started talking about it.
What kind of plush was it? Like good, like character-based and stuff? Pokemon?
Pokemon. I found some like the Angry Bird stuff. As soon as I was sending that stuff in, it was selling. Anything Disney, like Cartoon Network type stuff. A lot of ones that I saw do really well if they're tied to some kind of company for advertising. Like the Snuggles Bear, and I have some Maytag dogs that I was sending in and stuff like that. And it's just amazing. And some of these plush don't really have a high rank. I mean, it's a pretty low rank, and it's just amazing that the stuff is getting checked in and selling like the day it's getting checked in. And it's like, man, I should have priced this stuff a little higher when I sent it in. And I would say about 80% of the ones that I sent in had no FBA sellers, and it's really not that hard to prep them. You put them in that bag, suffocation warning label, your other label, off you go, and you can stuff. I think I stuffed like 60 of them in a box like this big. So it was, yeah. It was
real quick question, Tyler, dude. Were you selling these new or used?
A little bit of both. I had a bunch in there that were new, but there was a lot of.
Okay, real quick. What defines new in your eyes?
When I was going through, because I had a couple that were new with tags, but the condition just was not there. I mean, with a lot of these, the ones that she had in her collection that were new, I mean, they were pristine. I mean, the cardboard on the tag had no denting, it wasn't cracking, it wasn't worn. Looking over the whole, like that Snuggles Bear, I mean, it was mint. So that's kind of how I was going off of that. And some of them had condition issues, so I just, like, for as much as I had into them, it was real easy just to throw those off to the side and not deal with them. But it kind of goes into the next item that I had for sale, and since I've been doing that, I've been finding this stuff at the thrift stores really cheap, and I found 3 of these Elf from the 1980s. These are actually Burger King toys. And they're actually, you can see here, they're like hand puppets. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and these are from 1988, so they're as old as I am. And there was 4 that you could collect, and when I found them at the Goodwill, they had 3 of the 4. And all new with tags, everything, great condition. And you look these up on Amazon new, each of them is like $35 or more for each of these. And I paid 99 cents a piece for them. So, I mean,
Dang, Skippy.
that's some good money right there for only $3. So,
Tyler, do you even know what Elf is?
yes, I know who Elf is. I saw the movie. You know, my favorite part of that movie is in the
There's a movie?
talking to Dr. Warner,
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
and then he gets like fried. Yeah.
Awesome fun. Yeah, I mean the plush is something everybody should really look at.
Hey,
if it
you
says
guys-
Disney on it, go ahead, Arthur.
You guys remember the Minnie Mouse doll, the Minnie Mouse plush I showed?
Yeah,
I
sell it?
sold it. Yeah, I sold Amazon. It was $89.95 plus shipping. It happened to be local, so shipping was really cheap. But it sold on Amazon before it went on Craigslist to offer up, and I had it cheaper there, like $50, I think. So it just goes to show, right? You know,
Right, dude. I'm telling you, there's
Threw her in a
money in the
box.
plush, honey.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's some money. People have always laughed at me. And I think if people like sum me up, they start to say different things. And I think one of the things people always laugh at me about is Beanie Babies. And I'm just always amazed when people say, and I see it in the group, people are like, "There's no money in Beanie Babies." I'm like, really? Yeah, there isn't money how it was back then, but I have no Beanie Babies in my Amazon store. I don't think right now. They just sell. And yeah, maybe I make $1 or $2 off them, but they do sell. So if you're at a garage sale and like you're a Tyler and there's 500 Beanie Babies or plush and you get it for $10, yeah, there's money there. There's money in there, honey bunny. What do you think, Scott? Honey bunny?
Yeah, man. Whenever I see plush out, if I can get them cheap, like I'm talking about like a quarter or less a piece, I'm all in. I don't care what they are because there's money in them. You know, I sell plush every day. You know, I sold some plush today. Matter of fact, some Disney plush I picked up from the Goodwill outlet. You know, I mean they sell every day, and it's a good little money to come in. It's not you ain't gonna get rich doing it, but
yeah,
I mean $20, $30, $40, $50 a day from plush and some stuff you can pick up for 10 cents a piece. I mean, why not?
Dude, there's no complaints. I mean, you know, I posted in the Resellers Roundtable group, I sold a Pirates of the Caribbean Disney doll. I might have had 50 cents in it. I think I got 65 plus for it. Man, I mean, if you go to Disney and you sort of look around at the plush, yeah, they're expensive, man. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but when you see them at the thrift stores, especially look at the Angry Birds, oh my gosh, the Angry Bird stuff, I mean, it's incredible. The Minecraft. And again, Disney. I mean, you should not. Don't pass on Mickey, man. Is what I'm trying to tell you. Don't overlook Mickey.
Or Minnie.
Or Minnie, yeah, right. don't skip on the Mickey, right? Just look at the Disney shit. I mean, there's money there. All right. So here's an item I picked up. I don't know what to expect from this. I'll be honest, right? Because I live in Arizona here, and I find all these things, and I find crazy things, and I'm really getting into the Southwest stuff. And I'm trying to understand that market. I want to get into the pottery. I want to get into Indian artifacts because I'm surrounded by this Indian territory. And this is probably not anything related to what I was saying, but I thought it was pretty cool. It's a full-blown leather, like a tobacco pouch, right? And so you'd open it up here and throw your tobacco in there, maybe a firearm or whatever. It just, like I said, I don't know much about this. I got to look it up, but I just thought, man, this is cool. I would never find something like this in Illinois. You know, some little pouch like this.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I just thought it was kind of cool. Like, you know, you throw your tobacco in there like you're a cowboy, right, or pistol-y, and maybe you throw some endo, some freaking some shit in this one. Whatever you got to do. But I mean, I'm thinking at the end of the day, $1 or $2 I got for this. I think 20 to 40 is realistic, and maybe I'm way off base, but time will tell. And then really fast here, before I show the other item, is Disney VHSs, guys, that are in Spanish. Just that's all I'm gonna say. Just look them up.
That's
If
money
they're in
right
Spanish,
there.
you're like, dude, that's Little Mermaid, and it doesn't say Little Mermaid, and it says little sombrero or whatever. Pick it up. So Yeah, that's cool there. Tyler, do you got an item you want to show here? And we got some. Oh yeah, some peyote too would go in there, Jerry.
Peyote.
Yeah, my other item was the elf hand puppets.
Nice.
So
Cool, Scott. What do you got to show, dude? Show it.
I picked up these two Polaroids. Paid
Nice.
$1 for this one, 50 cents for this one, and I'm sending both of these into Amazon. This one goes about 75 on Amazon. I should get probably about 20, 25 for this one. So on $1.50 investment, well, it's probably cost me about $2 because I gotta bubble wrap them or box them or whatever. I have no send them in, so I should clear about $80.
Nice.
that's pretty good.
Let me ask you this, Scott, because the one-step cameras, I mean, if you just price it at $20, $25 on eBay, it's just gone with 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You got these big bulk buyers. What makes you think that? I mean, is the market much better on that camera on Amazon compared to eBay?
I don't know. It just seemed like I don't know. It just like they sell so much. To me, they sell faster on eBay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not eBay, but Amazon.
On Amazon.
Amazon.
Okay.
I mean, I box them. I send them in. I mean, these two cameras may last 24 hours, if that.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Did you
what I'm
test them? You have a way to test them, like
Yeah.
film? You got the film?
Mm-hmm. So I just test them, box them up, send them out, and then I wait on the money. To me, I mean, I like it better. Plus, I don't know. Like I said, I'm trying to get away from eBay. I'm sorry. I know it's a lot of eBay lovers out there, but eBay, it just grinds my gears. I'm tired of dealing with the customers on that end. I don't mind buying from eBay, but I'm trying to get away from selling them.
I think eBay, like, I would actually use eBay for that, but because I wouldn't even test them. I would just say as is, look at condition, and let some, maybe Scott say, buy my auction, and reprocess them properly, right, and send them in. So, I mean, that's not. I think the way Scott's doing it makes sense for him because he's putting in that time, and like I've dealt with Polaroids, but I don't really know them that well, and you know.
They sell quick, and not only that, if you can get your hands on the film, right? I mean, it'd be a good investment as a reseller just to buy some film if you can never find it. Usually, I find it in the Polaroids, and when I find a good, film that's got the battery in it, I use that to test all my Polaroids. And
Javon asked that in the chat. Yeah, that's what I do. If I find one with the battery in it, that's the one I keep to test it.
I think you could take a Polaroid, dude, and really beat it up against the ground, like just madly, and just fucking beat it over and over.
These things was made to last, dude. They don't break.
Yeah, right. I mean, they're crazy. But there was a question here, and I think this is a good segue into that. What items sell quickly on eBay? There's no doubt about it. Those Polaroid cameras. Dude, I don't. It's almost sickening.
The film sells faster, I think.
The film, these cameras, printer ink. I mean, stuff that'll sell within. Anything will sell fast if it's priced right, though. If you think
Actually,
about that.
I'm finding watches. The right brand level. In general, watches will go pretty fast. Anything Casio on up and all that stuff. Those are pretty hot. And I've been listening to a lot of DVDs, and it really just depends on whatever category. There's always a certain subset of that category that there's just people looking for it. They're just every day they got the safe search going.
I mean, there's so many. I mean, the question was what sells on eBay, and I mean, I can't answer that. I can't provide you with the right answer other than Polaroid, right? Gucci shoes. If you find real Gucci shoes or Prada shoes, shit with a name brand, right? That's worth money.
Gold and silver, super active market. Almost everything goes. If it's priced right, it goes.
If it's priced right, it goes.
Mission Impossible 2 will sell at great price in 24 hours. So, there's so much of it out there. But I think those staples of the Polaroid cameras, I think ink cartridges, empty ink cartridges will sell like that. Video games will sell like that if you know which ones to pick up and price points.
I know that actually anything catered to more business seems to have more consistent buyers. So let's say with video games, I'm actually gonna put up a lot of 5 consoles all as is. Unless I misprice it, and this might actually take longer to sell because each one has a different issue. But from my experience, if you're dealing with like broken PS3s, they go quick. There's always someone looking for it, and and just anything business related, where they're always buying.
Yeah, laser printers. I mean, we can go on for the next 20 minutes about this stuff. I mean, Corona says here, old 70s Polaroid nude photos. Oh my God! I mean, nude photos. I mean, it's a little touchy, but the shit sells.
Used underwear is the top seller of them all.
Yeah.
Panties, used panties.
I used to sell women's shoes, and I saw a lot of women's clothing, and then I kind of got out of that game because a lot of returns. But I used to get some freaky questions, like my YouTube, right, from people. How does the inside of the shoe smell? I mean, how do you describe an inside of the woman's shoe, Tyler? It smells like walnuts, roses,
lilac, petals.
Lilac.
With.
Yeah, there's so many different items, as long as it's priced right. But I think the overall gold, silver, Polaroid, iPhones, anything Apple, certain DVDs, they move. Video games.
But Dymo labels and
Dymo labels,
printers,
printers like that. Yeah, I mean, what else? Anything that you price point it right. What people want, what people need. Is a Pendleton shirt going to sell for you like that? No. All right. Well, I guarantee you, finding a pair of good shoes, it might take a little bit of time, but you're going to get a shit ton of freaking viewers on it. And people are going to be like, oh, Gucci, 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 right? Or even Louis Vuitton. I mean, these name brand clothing items, Louis Vuitton. I wish Zegna was like that. I wish Zegna stuff flew off the shelf. Dude, I'd be rich. All right, so next question here we got is from James. He says, just starting out on Etsy, it's different than any other place I've tried before. Is there any apps that I should be using in the store, like the Find app or something? Me personally, I don't use any apps with Etsy. I don't have any. The only app I use is the Sell on Etsy app. Other than that, in conjunction with like Instagram, Facebook. Do you guys use any special? Oh shit, we got a freaking superstar in the house. You got Mr. Freaking Hammer. What up, Mike?
What up? Just landed in Vegas. Got right on the computer.
Vegas. What's up, dude? All right, so we're talking about Etsy, Mike, and is there any super app we need to use with Etsy?
I don't use any app with Etsy. I do everything by hand myself. I don't trust apps. Right. I think apps are the creation of like some bad times for some sellers.
Yeah, me personally, for Etsy, I don't use anything. There's no special tool I use other than social media, bumping stuff out there. Scott, I mean, is there something special you're using with Etsy? Are you giving away a dime bag or?
Shit. Nah, I don't use any special apps or stuff like that. I list it straight from the website. I mean, I haven't found anything that works. So works for me. I mean, it might be something out there, but I just use the regular tools that's available.
Yeah, me too. Tyler, do you use anything special, man? I mean, are you giving away free underwear with your packages of T-shirts? I mean, what's going on over there at Etsy?
That thought did cross my mind, but no. I'm not using any other apps or anything for it. So.
I think the key with Etsy is believe in Etsy and list items that people want at price points, right? If you've got a vintage shirt that's a wrestling shirt, since we got Nagel in the house here, and you think it's rare, and you look on the eBay completed and it sells for $50, don't think you can get $700 for it on Etsy. It's just not going to happen. Price it accordingly. What, Mike?
I sold that 49ers, the Logo 7 shirt that we had kind of a hard time figuring out when the tag was from, if it was from the early 80s, mid 80s, late 80s, early 90s. I got way more for it on Etsy than I would have on eBay, and it takes a little bit of time. I don't think I've had anything sell overnight, but within a couple of months, you'll start noticing, like every day, every other day, like you're gonna hear the cha-ching go up at least once, and it's gonna be for more money than you could make on eBay.
Yeah, I think it really, honestly, guys. I mean, the Etsy platform is a must. Oh my God, this freaking bugs. If you're selling vintage, right? Just look into it. Honestly, I mean, it's 20 cents for 4 months. I mean, how could you go wrong with that? I mean, 5 cents a month. It's growing every day. I mean, I'm doing really well in there. I mean, I'm not getting. Like I said, I'm not a millionaire. But anyway, so let's get off that subject there. Mike Nagel, you're in Vegas now, dude. Tell us what's new, what's exciting with you, man.
Shit, I remembered how much I hate flying.
Well, when you're only paying $35 to get there, dude, it's not that bad.
Well, I kind of waited till the last minute to actually book the flight, so it was $65. But still, on a holiday, that's still not that bad. But yeah, I got everything taken care of. I tried putting an Amazon order together this morning before I left, but for some reason I kept getting an error, so I couldn't print out any labels. I couldn't print out shipping labels as well. So it was a big pain in the ass. I just got everything else done I needed to, so now that's off to the side for at least 4, 5, 6, 7 days before I can even send it in now. So I'm kind of pissed about that, but everything else.
Cool. So, Mike, I mean, you're in Vegas. What are you doing in Vegas, dude? I mean, are you just gonna gamble it all there, dude, and just throw in freaking 21?
I'm gonna go find TI-83 calculators at the pawn shop right next to my uncle's house here. I'm gonna buy them all, send them in tomorrow. They'll sell within 3 days, and I'll be able to play a big time tournament.
Oh shit, dude, you're going rounders on us. Going rounders. Tyler, what do you think about that? You're gonna fly to Vegas, go rounders on them? Tyler?
What was that?
Tyler? Are you going to go to Tyler? You're going to fly to Vegas and do rounders on us?
No, not anytime soon.
All right, let's ask. All right, here's a serious question. Who here is a gambler, like a physical gambler, like goes and gambles on horses? Let's just go down the row here. Tyler, do you gamble, other than thrift and gamble?
Not really. I've done a little bit in the past, but not really anymore.
Scott, do you just go up the rope to those freaking those boats over there, dude, and be like, "Yo, it's Scott in the house"?
No, I don't. I don't go to casinos, but yes, I do gamble.
Would the best advice be never go to a riverboat casino? Cause
yes, I don't go to. I did them when they first came to the area, 15, 20 years ago. I went out there and I gambled. It gets old fast, but I gamble, but not casino gamble.
Yeah. I used to go to this one in Wisconsin called Ho Chunk, and I used to go there, man, because at one point in time, I know this was years back, but you're able to go at 18, and I was there, and I was like, hey, I'm from Illinois, at 18 years old, I can go gamble, and I went up there, and this slot machine malfunctioned, and it just kept spitting out coins. I'm like, hey, I'm getting rich like a freaking monster here, right? And the next thing you know, security came by, and it was Indian reservation, and I didn't walk out with much. I think I had a ham sandwich. Nagel, are you a gambler, dude? I mean, you're in Vegas now, dude. Probably itching.
I'm a gambler. I play a lot of poker. I play a lot of Pai Gow. I play a little black.
Yeah, I'll play some Baccarat, but that's about it.
But you know what? Since I really devoted myself full time to picking and thrifting and everything, I've really scaled back on just throwing the guaranteed, paycheck. When I was getting a paycheck every 2 weeks, yeah, it was easy to go out there and screw around and stuff. When I'm in charge of my own finances, like what comes in and goes out, yeah, I'm not so quick to jump to the casino to blow it all there and wait for 2 weeks. Because I don't know what I'm gonna be getting in the next 2 weeks. So
that's why roulette, I think, is the best game. I mean, if you manage your money right, you have better odds. But I don't know. People can disagree. Arthur, dude, you ever just roll up in a casino and be like, yeah, I'm gonna throw this shit in the slot machine and I'm gonna make $1 million?
I played some poker here and there, but not. Like, if I go, it's just for fun. I'm not expecting to win. There's no high hopes. It's just whatever. So there's enough, I guess, gambling with this business anyway.
Yeah.
It's more interesting to gamble when you're actually in charge. You're kind of in control of the odds.
And when you have a physical product too, like I mean, the storage auctions is a gamble. I mean, sometimes sniping is a gamble. I mean, that's the gambling I like, where I like, hey, I've got something to show at the end of the day, not just me walking into the parking lot trying to blow my brains out with just like this gun in my hand that's not existent. But all right, hey guys, appreciate all you guys watching. If you do me a favor and just hit the like button, super appreciate that. You know, we do try to pride ourselves on providing out content and information with all of us out here. All of us are resellers. We're full-time, part-time. We try to help out everybody as much as we can and answer questions every weekend or every week, every Monday. Again, you know, if you like this stuff, if you don't like it, you dislike. If you like it, you like it, right? We see the results for all that. But moving forward here, we got another question, and it's a powerful one. It's from Derek Johnson. Now that the new Star Wars toys are out, give us an update on how things are going for you guys, and what does the market look like for fourth quarter now based on what you've seen? Is it worth for the little guy to grab some now in hopes of eBaying items at Christmas? Thanks, and looking forward to the question here. Does anybody want to answer that really quick? Star Wars?
The only item I'm kicking myself in the ass about not buying is that freaking what do they call the drone? Because they had two of those. They had two of those at my Target, and I didn't pick them up. That's the only thing I'm about. Everything else is over manufactured, and I'm not going to worry about it. That's just my opinion, though.
Hey, that's a great opinion, man. I mean, Scott, what's your thoughts? Star Wars is out now. All this, the toy line's released. There's going to be more toys coming. What's your thoughts? Sum it up.
I think the prudent action would be to wait and see how it all shakes out. It's still kind of early. You never know. You might go deep on something now, and it might be something that's abundant come Christmas time. I mean, I think unless you have unlimited funds and money is not an object to you, you know, I think the best course of action is to wait it out and just see how it shakes out. You know, what's going to be the hard thing to find? What's going to be the toy that everybody wants? You know what I'm saying? You know, what's going to be that hard to find item? Because it's going to be another wave coming out. You know, it's another wave of toys that's coming out when the Star Wars Rebel cartoon come out. So, I mean, it's going to be a lot of more toys coming out closer you get to Christmas. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm not buying anything. I'm buying personal. I bought some personal stuff, but I'm not going deep on anything to resell right now.
So what did you buy personal, dude? I mean, I gotta know this.
I bought some of the micro machines. I know you saw those. They have micro machine sets. I bought some of the Hot Wheels. I bought some of the miniature, like the vehicle sets, the small ones, like the miniature Black Series ones they had at Walmart. I mean, those are things that those are things I bought for me. You know, I don't know if those are going to be hot or not. I wasn't looking at it like that. And I don't know what action figure is going to be hot. You know, all of them are really nicely designed. I don't know which one's going to be the action figure. So, I mean, I'm waiting it out as far as reseller goes.
Yeah, Arthur, have you looked into the Star Wars? Do you see what's going on over there? I mean, people are going crazy over this shit.
Yeah, like, this is something I'm not really that well versed in. You know, just one of the. I probably mentioned this before, and but the way I have to look at it, you know, I have to give the respect to the people that know what they're doing, and because I really don't, so I'm just kind of watching it. I do get some random Star Wars stuff here and there.
You freeze on us?
Usually older stuff, like I just said that. You guys can hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you. You're good.
Yeah, like those micro machine sets, that's ironic because I just sent in that were made in like 1995. Just sent them into Amazon. But I think from what I'm looking, just reading and stuff, it seems like it's obviously a lot more competitive. And the guys that got the experience, you know, like Mike and Scott, you guys, you're the ones that probably are going to take more advantage of it. I think it's definitely a tread lightly type situation because I don't know. It seems like they might overproduce, and I think there's going to be a lot more races to the bottom. I think some people are going to get caught in it because they're going to spend too much money buying the stuff up and then watching any potential profits disappear, and They're going to panic. It's going to be just like in the stock market. So,
Yeah.
in terms of what I'm doing, as I'm doing now, is I'm probably more likely to just buy stuff that's Star Wars stuff that's not more recent. Because one thing you have also to add is that you do need to be approved, and you don't know what they're going to restrict going forward. So, I'm gonna stay very safe. I'm nowhere near a position to start going to Target or Walmart and start buying up. Not from a funds perspective, just from a perspective. I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing, and I'd rather be safe. I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah, appreciate the honesty there for sure. I mean, Mike Nagel. I mean, what's your thoughts of Star Wars, man? I mean, is it?
I don't know what the
gangbusters?
With my Target, but my Target always has like everything. All of a sudden, they're like having everything. They had 2 aisles just completely dedicated to Star Wars. Everything was there the other morning when I went, and by nighttime, everything was gone. I think for maybe the more unique things, you're going to have an easier time selling them because not everybody's going to have $109 to drop on them to get those drones.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot more convenient for people who like overseas and don't have the ability to buy that stuff. It really all depends on what you're buying from that specific group of things that just came out for Star Wars. I mean, it looked to me like a lot of the stuff was overproduced.
Sorry, getting bugs in here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's freaking Arizona bugs. All right, so my thoughts on. All right, check. Can you hear?
Yep.
Yep. All right, so here's my thoughts on Star Wars. The vintage line is something you really should be looking at. The vintage stuff for sure. There's really good money in that. It's skyrocketing, and you can snipe the stuff, but you have to understand what you're doing with it. In terms of the new line, yeah, I'm approved to sell in Star Wars. I'm not a $1 million person, so those myths of people getting approved is not true. There's money to be made. I'll just tell you that right now. The BB-8 is hot, not just only the iPhone device, the toy is. So look at the opportunities. There's opportunities for eBay, right? There's opportunities to sell on Amazon if you're approved. But I think overall, in terms of are you going to hoard these toys right now thinking that they're going to sell out? Amazon's already selling out of these left and right. It's interesting to see this. They're selling out of this stuff, and there's not too many resellers that are in this market. So that's interesting for me. But at the same point in time, I don't think you should be spending your money on these right now unless you're approved, honestly. Right? I just don't think it's the right move for anybody that's out there. If you're not approved, I don't even think you should be worried about Star Wars. But keep working the other avenues, build your bankroll, and then let's look at this come after Black Friday and see where Star Wars is at. There's going to be opportunities for eBay. There's going to be opportunities for merchant on some Star Wars toys, like the BB-8 the droid thing, the iPhone thing, you know. Those are selling like hotcakes right now. And they're not selling for crazy money. They were originally when it was released later last week. But now they're down to like $149. There's still a market for them for sure. But I mean, then you're taking your $90 and $110. Is that making money? Yeah, it is, but it's just not what I think is your profit potential. But
maybe if you were going on a road trip, that would be good money to turn it into. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get them, you could definitely flip them right now, merchant field, and turn your $90 or $88 into freaking $120. But then if you're in a 2-week payout, so you made $30 off your $80. What do you fucking do? I mean, honestly, right? Not a big deal. But I think right now, if you guys are into this whole thing, like last night we spent the night, we watched the 3 Star Wars movies. We were really stoked, excited, watching them. It was fun. It's exciting because I'm a big Star Wars nut. So the new movie coming out is going to be awesome, hopefully. And it's exciting for a lot of people that are like me and they have kids. And my son right now is like, hey, I want anything Boba Fett. So I'm hoarding Boba Fett, but that just look at. I think your best opportunity right now is if you're at the thrift stores. Look, anything Star Wars is going to sell. Period. Right. But if you're a little more in depth with it all, look at the vintage. I mean, if you can afford to go out and buy the vintage stuff, it's right now the Millennium Falcon I think is up to like $210. The AT-ATs are like $150. The stuff's going for good money right now, guys. And unfortunately, it's been, 40 years, 35 years, Scott.
It's been almost 40 years since been 40 years since the first movie came out.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I gotta run. Like I said on chat. Right?
Later, man.
Thanks for having me.
Arthur.
Good night.
Thanks for being a part of it, man. Appreciate it, buddy.
Well, I saw this one in the chat. Asks, he said, "Should you load up on the vintage figures?" Yeah. Me and Mike were actually talking about that. I mean, if you want to if you start, let's say you started today, you're gonna pay a premium for them now, going forward. People have raised their prices on eBay. We've noticed that. People are anticipating that. So I mean, yeah, you're gonna pay up for them. So you got to make sure you do your research.
I don't think you're gonna lose, right?
No,
even
you're
if
not
you
gonna
went
lose.
today,
You're not gonna lose. You're gonna pay up. You're gonna pay more than what you would have paid 6 months ago.
Yeah, perfect. Yep. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is right now, the market's soft on the vintage. I mean, it's profitable in the vintage, but the buying end of it is not as exposed as it should be. And I think there's a lot greater potential in that because there's people older, there's people my age, there's people Scott's age that are like, hey, man, maybe we are buyers down the road for this stuff because I'm looking for it too, dude. I mean, I know I want a nice collection of Star Wars just for myself because me personally, I think that this stuff is always going to go up in value. Even though it was mass-produced and there was freaking, 2.3 million Luke Skywalkers with the freaking missing hand, I understand this. But, it's still cool to have it in hand, and I think it's even cooler when you have kids, and you can show your kids, oh, you think that Chewbacca is the original? No, here's the 77, and but yeah, it's something to definitely look into. I think if you're a gambler right now, I think your best bet is on the vintage. If you could buy it right, and again, if you're approved to sell Star Wars on Amazon, I mean, there's opportunities out there, but I'm not. I'll just say this right now. I'm not hoarding any Star Wars, anything that's brand new that just came out last week. There's no way. I'm looking to fast flip on it, unless it's for my personal collection, and that's just not going to sell. To sum that up, Scott, I mean, what's your thoughts on the whole Star Wars thing? Because people are always like, Star Wars, Star Wars. I mean, dude, I see people talking about sleep sets, pillowcases. Yeah, all that stuff's going to sell.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to sell. It's just, I mean, I would hate to see somebody to, go all ape shit on it and, spend all their money now, banking on Star Wars being that. I mean, I've seen the merchandising out there. I don't know if everybody's seen. I'm not talking about the toys. I'm talking about
everything.
Everything is Star Wars branded now. I mean, they have. I went to Menards and they have Star Wars to paint your rooms in Star Wars
they had
colors.
that in Target. They had a whole separate section of the toys that was another 4 aisles where they had coffee mugs.
Yeah.
Like kids' art sets. They had all this shit, and it's like it's already mostly gone already.
Yeah, Disney is not going to be playing with this one. They bringing their A game as far as merchandising comes. Yeah, it's going to be holes in the market, but it's hard to predict that now. We're not going to know that until closer to Christmas about what is going to be the toy. It's going to be 1, maybe 2 items that's going to be hard to find that everybody wants. It's just hard. It may be a Lego set. It may be an action figure. Mm-hmm. It may be a play set. It may be that, but I'm just saying it's going to be something that's going to be hard to find.
Amazon historically sells out of Legos, so if you're into that game, I'm not telling you to drop 10 grand in Legos and sit there and then you turn to me and say, "Oh, Mike, that didn't sell." But I guarantee there's some Lego set out there that will.
Well, even if you drop 11 grand on them, they will sell eventually.
Well, you're not going to lose your money.
Yeah, you don't lose money on Legos. That's one.
Legos don't sit forever. Everybody's looking for them.
Yeah, I mean, like the Minecraft last year, that was the big Amazon FBA thing. Even the oh God, what are those called? The Christmas ones, the Advent calendar. Those always sell. Get in first, sell them for $80, get out, right? And if you're getting in at late in the game, yeah, you're gonna have lower margins because those are gonna come out. The Advent calendar, Legos, there'll be a whole Star Wars one, I guarantee it. Just gotta be careful, man. You gotta know what you're doing. I mean, you really do. You gotta understand, like toys. I mean, I'll tell you what. I think the biggest pride I have with Pick for Profit is that we have some serious experienced toy sellers. Wouldn't you agree, Scott?
I agree.
I mean, it's probably the primo that I've. Like I said, I'm not in everybody's group. I don't know what's going on, but it's a primo group of toy sellers that know what they're doing and understand the market.
I mean, and the cool thing about the group is it's not just toy sellers. It's really with people from every area of what we do. So
totally, yeah. I mean, there's some good stuff going on there. Tyler, what's your thoughts? I mean, Tyler, you're probably not even focused on Star Wars. You're probably like, the hell is Star Wars? I'm looking for snapbacks.
I mean, I'm still doing some more research with the Star Wars thing. I'm still trying to finish up a few things so I can get approved. I did find a couple of items when I went to Toys R Us when they launched it, and some of it was like there was one product where like you couldn't sell it new, but you could still sell it in the collectible category, and it was like in the toys and stuff. So it was like one of those items that like you could still sell, but you have to sell it as not new, but you could still list it, I guess, as new. But there was a few other things that I saw, like different stuff that was, still Star Wars, but in different categories that, you weren't restricted to sell. So, I don't know. I'm going to try to focus on some different things, but, like, I'm going to try to do as much as I can with Star Wars, but I'm not going to try to make it as big a focus for the fourth quarter because I've put some money in different areas that I think is going to do well this fourth quarter. So, I mean, if I do well with it, that's great. But right now, going forward, I'm not, saying to myself, oh, I have to do well in Star Wars to make the fourth quarter worthwhile. No, I don't have to do that. So it's just an added bonus when I can.
I'm so looking forward to being out here because, like, I'm out here on the road sourcing, and I don't have to worry about anything, and I'm gonna find a whole bunch of different shit, and it's gonna be good.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, there's so much, like what Tyler was saying. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, there's so much more stuff to really worry about and sell for profit. Where really Star Wars shouldn't really even be on your radar, in my point of view. Even somebody who's approved of Star Wars. Now, I'm thinking here, I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, Star Wars is on my map, but I'm not going to drop $20,000 in Star Wars because I just don't believe in it that much. And, it's like it's like you said, Scott, it's a mass-produced thing. And there's going to be some variants, there's going to be some, some loose figs, some exclusive stuff. I can't lay all my cash on the line for that. So, but I'm looking at it. Trust me. I mean, I've got money set aside. But the thing is this: I think why not invest in what's around you, right? Video games. Video games are not going away. I mean, I just had a Pokemon haul the other day, and I was blown away. No joke. I made a video, and I haven't released it yet. But I was like, I sent these games in. They were $22. When they got checked in, I said, oh shit! I jumped them up to $50 because that's the market now on some of these Pokemon, Game Boy Advance, DS's. I mean, it's craziness. If you look up Pokemon, it's sickening. It's a sickness. But I think it's just focus on your ways to make money. I would just kind of eliminate Star Wars right now and focus on what we've always been saying: plush, books, right? I think here I wrote this down: the retail arbitrage aspect of Amazon. I'm not saying it's gone. I'm just saying get there early, get there quick. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? Because I'm a bit, Scott. I mean, retail arbitrage. Is this a full-time living? Could you go out there and do this? Is it unbelievable at this point in time? Can you crush clearance at Kmart?
I think you need it has to be a one section of your business, right? You can't. Right now, and I know we've talked about this a bunch of times on here and on the blabs, that retail arbitrage is like it's like the low hanging fruit. It's not that anymore. You can still make money from retail arbitrage. Don't get me wrong. I do it. I find stuff every day, but it's not. It can't be 100% of what you do. You have to have numerous ways to get inventory for Amazon to make a full-time living. I mean, yeah, you could do retail arbitrage and you could, settle for 10% profits on things. Sell it for 12, get back $1 after fees. I mean, you could do that. But I mean, is your time worth that? I mean, my time is worth more than $1 per item. That I sell. So I mean, and that's what retail arbitrage has come to. So that's just my 2 cents.
I think it's a tough game. I think it's different than a year or two years ago. It's competitive. There's that race to the bottom, and I just don't understand the people. I guess I never will understand the 20% ROI guy. And I don't care how many webinars they put out or tell me how they're making millions a month. I just don't understand it. I'll be honest with you guys. I just don't fucking get it. And that's my 2 cents with that. But be very careful going and scanning at Targets and Walmarts. Tyler, what's your thoughts on retail?
Yeah, I agree with Scott. You can't leave that aspect out of your business, but you can't base your whole business model off of it because there's so many other ways to get inventory that you don't have. I mean, there's some people who are going to just do that, and that's fine. That's the way they want to run their business. But me and my business, I use that as a way to get inventory, but it's not going to make or break my business if I can't get inventory, doing that. So.
Mike, I mean, what's your thoughts? I mean, you're a dollar store freaking god, dude. You're like freaking the beast.
I don't know, man. I'm getting a little pissed off at people, though. Like, within 2 hours of me putting up a listing the other night on Amazon, I already had 2 people, snaked up on it. So, kind of annoying, especially when they severely undercut the price I was going to be selling it for FBA. But I guess it doesn't matter since there's no FBA stickers on it yet, but I'm sure there will be. I just get really pissed when I take the time and go out and find stuff that nobody has listed. I make the listing. I use my own UPC code that I paid for, and then people jump on like it's their own little playground. But, as far as the retail arbitrage, I'm scaling back in the big box stores, and you know what? I'm clearing out Dollar Tree, man. There's so much good stuff in there that I'm finding that nobody has listed. I'm finding stuff that when it is listed, it's going for great profits. Where else can you get like 400% ROI on an item? 500% ROI after your fees. I mean, I love it. That part of retail arbitrage is still alive and well for me. But as far as the big box stuff, man, I haven't seen it in a really long time.
Yeah, I think that overall, I mean, I'm thrifty, right? So I'm always looking for thrifty deals, and I mean, if you said to me, Mike, where is the best place to go to? I'd agree with Nagel. It's a dollar store. Look at those opportunities, right? There's nothing like taking to $1 to $6, $7, right? And that happens all day with the dollar store. Does it happen with Target, Walmart? No, I don't buy it. Every time oh God, 6 months from Target and Walmart, it is like, it's the cramming up my ass. And I got to fight with people for very low margins, and I always say I should never bought that, right? And then I still go there, and I'm still scanning stuff, and, I just deal with it all the time. And sometimes you get breakaway wins.
You know what the great thing is, though? Like, Target and Walmart are places everybody goes to, but for whatever reason, some people think they're above going into a Dollar Tree. So
I can see that.
I think that's why, like, the advantage is on our side going into these 99-cent stores, Dollar General. Because a lot of people don't want to get their hands dirty in a dollar store.
I think there's some people getting like, hey, what the hell sells retail arbitrage? Lots of things, right? I mean, even action figures. But you got to know your action figures. You got to know when it's case packed, you know, and there's only one figure out of the 13 that sells that you can buy for 8 and sell it for 40. That's always going to exist, always, 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 and you got to know those opportunities. You know, then going into Home Depots or Lowe's and finding items, but there's no low-hanging fruit. Kim, we're getting attacked by bugs here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting fucking eaten.
They're all up there on that line. Look at them.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Yeah, but I think the overall, in terms of retail arbitrage, Tyler, let me throw this in your lap really quick, Tyler. Clothing, shoes, socks, name brand stuff. Are you seeing a dip in that market?
I am seeing a rise in that market.
Yeah. So that should tell everybody right there that these outlet malls, when it comes to those name brand stuff, what? The frog's in here?
There's a frog in here.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I swear to God, it's a little one. Where's the fucking flashlight?
I don't have a flashlight. My phone's somewhere.
Oh.
Oh, God, we got a frog in here. Killer frog. Kim, don't touch it. You'll be tripping. Like Jim Morrison. Yeah, I think you're, you know, Tyler, I mean, I just think those are better opportunities for people. The clothing stuff. All right, so anyway, we touched on that. Let's go to this next question here. It's from Matthew. He says, I would like to know if you guys think that there would be another eBay. Do you think Amazon would ever allow used clothing sales or maybe another auction site pop up that would truly rival eBay? And my answer is this. I'm waiting for the next eBay. I really am. I'm not tired of eBay, but eBay is... It's just fucking, you know, it's a sick relationship. I mean, it's like a bad marriage.
eBay
I love you.
eBay
hate you.
needs somebody to take their position as the garage sale online market to really light a fire under their ass and to get them back in the game. I think that's what has to happen. And then we'll have 2 places to go to for online used.
I'm sorry, I'm amused here. What, did you just stab that freaking frog, Kim? You did?
Well, I just used the broom.
Did you get him out of the garage?
Yeah.
Call PETA.
Okay. We gotta call the Terminator. We got killer frogs here. Anyway, so yeah, but I mean, Scott, what do you think? I mean, is there gonna be another eBay coming up? eBay is fucking. Dude, I mean, I love eBay, but Jesus, my God, it's not reliable. I think here, I'm just gonna say this, and you know what? eBay is not a resource right now to make a full-time living. Can I just say that?
It's true.
That's the answer.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Can you make first off, Scott, can you make a full-time living selling on eBay? I think it's difficult.
I think it's difficult. It's possible, you know.
Not selling on eBay, but sniping on eBay to send to Amazon. That's like really good for us right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's people that do it, but I mean, it's not my thing anymore. I don't even care to want to do anything. I don't even care to want to make a full-time living on eBay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. You know.
I can hear that in your voice, dude, and I hear what you're saying because, like, I can just tell you right for a fact right now, I am off 60% on eBay, and my voice keeps telling me, my gut keeps telling me, Mike, walk away, just walk away. But you know, I do like big sales. I like selling a blazer for $100. You know,
yeah.
I don't know else I can sell a blazer at for $100, but there's something in my soul that's telling me to say, Mike, you know what? Throw up the freaking deuce, throw up the finger, and walk away. And I don't know. I'll let you continue, Scott.
I mean, it's always gonna be people that say, you know, I mean, yeah. It's always gonna be, oh, I make a full-time living. I sell 1 million items a month. Blah 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 blah. But I mean, it's not. I honestly believe the people that are doing it, they are the outliers. You know what I'm saying? You know, the majority of people that could make money doing it, they can't anymore. I mean, I don't like dealing with eBay's customer service. I don't like the fees anymore. I don't like the customers. I don't like anything about eBay. So I don't want to deal with it. I don't like the fact that no, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Scott. You're on a good rant.
No, I was just saying I just don't like dealing with it anymore. I mean, I hate dealing with it as a buyer. You know, and it's even worse as a seller. But yeah, I hope somebody comes up and challenges eBay, and eBay don't buy them out. You know what I'm saying? I just hope that maybe Etsy can really challenge eBay in the next few years, and maybe it's another startup that people will really get behind that is more, seller centric. I mean, in the meantime, I'm moving on. I'm not going to be on eBay. I'm not going to have the 1,000-item store. I'm moving on from eBay. Hopefully, the next 5 years, I'll be moving on to something else.
Yeah. I think for me, I mean, it's like this, Scott. I mean, I'm in the same boat. Like I went through this phase years ago, and I said, the hell with eBay, and I went back, and now I'm back, and it's like I'm just doing my thing, but it's like I've seen numbers just dip, and people say, well, that's the stuff you pick, Mike. You're not a professional picker. You're not a full-time reseller. You're not like us. Maybe I'm not, right? I just do my thing, and I really do wish there was another opportunity out there. But I can tell you this right now, for you guys to follow me online, YouTube, right, and see what I pick and resell and what I flip on eBay, it's a difficult living to make a full-time living doing that. I mean, Tyler, what's your thoughts? I mean, Tyler, you're like me, dude. We sell vintage. We sell clothing. I mean, I think all of us are on the same boat. I mean, is eBay what it used to be?
No, it's not, but I am glad that Etsy has come along for me to be able to list my vintage stuff on there. So, and then with the way, that I'm approved now on Amazon, so I list a lot of my new stuff over there, and a lot of the thrift store stuff, as far as like we talked about earlier, like the Pendletons and stuff like that, stuff like that I haven't really been picking up. So it's like, what stuff in the future will I really be putting in my eBay store? If I'm still picking up the vintage and then getting the new to put on Amazon. So I don't know. Like I said in a couple of shows ago, I'm going to give eBay another fourth quarter and see how it does and see how Etsy does, and then make a decision sometime at the beginning of next year and see where my future really lies with eBay going into 2016.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, okay? Because I know there's people watch this channel. They like eBay, they like Amazon, and I'm not bashing eBay, but if you've been a true eBay seller, I'm not talking to you that has 100 feedback or you're killing it with 200 feedback with 50 items, right? But if you've been doing this for a long time, I think you could truly feel what I'm telling you is that there's a difference in the air. There's a different breeze, and it doesn't smell like Febreze. It smells like shit. I mean, it really does, and people are going to hate on this and say whatever, and that's cool, right? I mean, it's a hustle. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, depends on what you're picking, but eBay is not the place it used to be, and I really hope that these changes that I keep hearing about and the people keep talking about it, it's going to be a better place. I really hope that plays to fruition pretty soon, because I'm going full bore Amazon, Etsy, honestly, at this point, because it's just not viable anymore. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I love selling blazers for $100. I love selling crazy shit, right? I mean, something like the scavenger life. Hey, those guys doesn't bother them. They make a lot of money. It's great, right? Good for them. It works for some. It doesn't work for all of us, right? But I mean, realistically, and I think this is what this whole show is about, is to give people that are listening a realistic opportunity to make a full-time living, and I don't think eBay is that route anymore. So, I mean, Nagel, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, man, I've been going over the numbers the last couple of days out here, and I'm down a lot from last year or so. I'm going to do this one last push of all these items that I can't list anywhere else on eBay for quarter 4, and see how it goes. And, depending on how the sales are Q4 this year, I may continue to give eBay an additional $60 a month for a store next year. But if business is slow or business is bad and they're not doing what they promised, then I think I'm going to get a big write-off by donating a bunch of that stuff or selling it locally. Moving all the vintage stuff to Etsy. And I have no qualms about doing it because it's just one less website I have to log in or do anything special for. So I'm all for making it easier.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just being realistic here, and I think all of us are, and we're not here to try to pipe feed everybody, you know. And we've got eBay's got cheerleaders. They're all over YouTube, you know, and they're all over Periscope, and these are people that are happy that selling 2-3 items a week. That's not paying my bills anymore. So I got to look at this as a business decision, right? Realistically, is this worth my time? And I'm not giving up right now. I'll tell you this right now. I'm not stopping tomorrow. I'm not saying fuck eBay, right? But I'm really hoping that eBay just says, you know what? Let's change, right? Let's change for the seller and put people in better avenues. Let's make it more difficult for people to sell, right? And then people that say, well, they do right now because new sellers can only sell 10 items or 100 items a month. No, man, there's too much shit going on, right? I mean, it's not like Amazon. I mean, I can cut off eBay right now and just work Amazon and make freaking 10 grand a month, you know? But I just wish eBay would do something different. And I'm really hoping for these announcements to come out so they can talk about it and see if it makes a difference. But I think I'm really convinced in my mind that eBay is just, and I'll say it for, you know, people that are out there, or even people that are watching this, and they're like, hey, why are you dissing eBay? I just think it's a sick corporation. I think it's a sick corporation that's taken advantage of a monopoly for a long time. They haven't told the truth. They've lied. And anybody who's a pro-eBay supporter right now will probably be broke in a year or two if they're living on their whole income off of eBay, because Amazon is really just Amazon's where it's at. I'll leave it at that. Tyler, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Amazon is the future. I think right now, if you really look at it, I think for eBay, the future is kind of uncertain at this point. And I know we talked about, you know, possibility of another company coming up and, you know, taking eBay's place. But I think right now, you know, Amazon and Etsy, honestly, is the future for the reselling. So
I think so too. It's kind of depressing talking about this, ending the show with this. I mean, Scott, I mean, it is the real. I mean, honestly, I mean, you can sell 100 things to one compared to eBay and Amazon, Scott. Man,
yeah, I mean, it's to me, like I said, it's a business decision. I mean, I got to the point where I was, you know, to maintain the amount of money I was making, I was doubling what I was making on Amazon with half the time and half the work on what I was doing on eBay. You know, and it was like eBay was like a 40-hour-a-week job, and I was making half the money. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's just a business decision. I mean, I don't have no love or hate for eBay or Amazon. It all comes down to dollars and cents to me. And right now, eBay is not making dollars or cents. So I mean, I have to go with what's making me money.
Yeah, I think what you know, for all you guys that are listening, I mean, I think what you're hearing is a bunch of resellers that do this for a living, make their money off it. We're just not happy with eBay. We want to change. We'd embrace a change if it worked out. But I mean, Mike Nagel, I mean, you're the band hammer, dude. I mean, what's your thoughts on eBay here? I know we've been talking about this for a while, but
I've been focusing a lot more on my Amazon business. I've been listing stuff on eBay because Q4 is here, but Amazon has been getting the majority of my attention because the price points are completely different. The stuff sells way quicker on Amazon depending on what it is. I'm having a much easier time with Amazon like this whole year compared to eBay. This whole year pretty much on eBay has been a wash, so hopefully Q4 like fixes that. I don't know. It just seems really depressing from where it was like 3, maybe even 4 years ago. You know, eBay, the big giant in online resale. And, yeah, man. I think with them losing PayPal this year and all this other stupid stuff they're trying to incorporate. I mean, I think they really need to look at what they're doing, and I think they need to, from our perspective, we are the ones who are making the money. They say eBay is for the buyers. The buyers do not pay eBay fees. We do when we sell something, and we pay a lot.
Let me make this very clear. Yeah, let me make this very clear for all of you guys that are out there, right? And you watch the YouTube videos, right? Show me one person who is killing it on eBay who's making a full-time living, and then don't come to me and say, well, so-and-so does, so-and-so does. No, because I've heard them all, and they're switching to Amazon. And then if you're sitting there saying, Mike, I'm going to tell you who it is, you better know their costs, right? You got to know their costs. 10 grand on eBay is jack shit, right? When you're spending 4 or 5 grand, right? You can do that on Amazon and make 30 grand, right? It's not. I wasn't trying to be a negative Nancy here in this that, but I guess what I'm saying is more frustration, and you heard it from all of us. I mean, Etsy, yeah. I mean, I'm doing good at Etsy. I'm not, I do sell stuff on eBay, but eBay's just not where it's at. So,
but
all right, final.
We went into Etsy knowing that we weren't going to be making sales every day.
Yeah.
Difference.
I just don't want to hear somebody tell me, well, so and so on YouTube is killing it. It's like, I watch these freaking guys.
Show me their
these
numbers. I want to see their credentials.
Dude, I mean, honestly, because I'll be honest, right? I've got probably 9 videos I'm going to pump out in the next 3 weeks, and they're pro eBay, but yet
nothing wrong with that, man.
I know there's nothing. It's just, here's the thing though. It's like I've made good money at it, but it's not consistent. It's not how it was, and I've got to change, and I've been changing. I've been doing other things, and I just don't want people to think that they can just go to thrift stores or buy some books or buy whatever and think that they're just going to make all this money full time.
Somebody in the chat just said they do it, Mike. So there you go.
That's great. I mean, God bless everybody that can go out there and freaking crush it full time. I mean, I can't. I don't know that person. I don't. If you could do it, great, awesome, right? But I think those days are gone.
Yeah.
Those realistic days of telling somebody new you can make a full-time living on eBay are pretty much done. And I guess that's where I'm going to sum it up. I mean, Tyler, what's your final thoughts, part 2?
Final thoughts, part 2. Yeah, I think, I don't think it's too late for eBay to make some changes. But if they're going to do something to improve their platform, they need to do it within the next 6 months to a year, or I think they are really going to lose a lot of sellers. So, because they're just like we were just saying, we're fed up with certain stuff about it, and we're going to move to different platforms because we still got to bring in the money to pay the bills and everything, and we got to do what it takes to keep making that money every month.
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, I hear people keep saying this YouTube account, this blog, this podcast, right? Believe what you want to believe, man. It's the internet, and if you think they're killing it, they're crushing it, they're making $50 million a month. God bless you, right? I'm just telling you straight up. 4 straight up resellers are telling you at the end of the day, walk away maybe, or build it yourself and see for yourself. But maybe I think the experience kind of could tell you that. And these are people like, I understand that they have this podcast, right? And these people, and yeah, we sold this, we sold that. I mean, these are just hillbillies living in the woods, man. They have no family, they have no kids, right? I mean, you don't know what the fuck they're putting. I mean, they don't even have gas running their house. I'll be honest with you. Realistic expectations, right? I'm not talking about people that are just running around free like fucking hippies, right? If you want to go do this and make a full living,
people with kids and
kids and family,
mortgages.
I just can't go. Oh, hey, to turn the gas off today, let me throw fucking 4 fucking loaves of freaking wood in the freaking chuck. Anyway, I went on this tangent and people are hitting that. That's cool. Believe what you want. Don't believe what's on the internet. Do it for yourself, and then when you hear what we're saying, hopefully it makes sense. If it doesn't, test it yourself. Go crush it. I mean, God willing, go do it. Right? Nagel, what's your thoughts? Here, we're going to end this here. So, what's your thoughts, Nagel? Vegas, Nagel.
Vegas, yeah. I'm looking forward to going out tomorrow and finding stuff besides clothing, because every single time I've ever gone out here, I've always brought back clothing. So
there you go.
It's gonna be fun. I have a bunch of places to hit. I'm gonna rent a car and then go to Myrtle Beach. Oh wait, that was the other video. No, but yeah, I'm gonna be having a lot of fun, hanging out with some friends out here, and then going to LA, going to the beach, chilling out, seeing more friends, and then going up to Sacramento and closing out the trifecta. But you got to do what you got to do to stay afloat. This trip was made with no intentions of going thrifting or picking or anything. But when you're in the area, man, you got to take advantage of your local resources when you're here. So, you know, I don't know. I'm probably only going to be here 3 or 4 days, so I'm going to take advantage of it.
Cool. Final word, Scott.
Hey, okay. I want to thank everybody for coming in.
They're talking about the scavengers. They're talking about these scavengers who keep. Well, they got 5 eBay stores. They're pro this. They're pro that. They're so against Amazon though. Why would a reseller be so against Amazon? I find those people insulting. And I'll get to that, but I'll only get to Scott here.
I just want to thank everybody for coming in tonight, checking us out. We another shameless plug that we do the blabs on Blab, and we basically we do talk more about personal stuff, about reselling and stuff. It's more about the things that we went into at the end of this conversation. You know, like real resellers that deal with real issues, not this pie in the sky shit that you hear a lot of. You know, we talk about how real resellers make money and the struggles we talk about. So it's pretty cool if you're into that sort of thing. If not, oh well.
I really enjoyed those shows. I think they're light years above YouTube and anything else people are putting out. I'm not just saying that because I like Scott. It's just because the information is the information. So I really do enjoy that.
Better on Blab too.
Yeah, we have a good interaction. Good people coming
Yeah.
in. It's not all trolly like YouTube. No offense to anybody here, but it's less trolly because people that actually come in and actually want to interact and talk and like all that kind of stuff. But yeah. But thank you.
All right. Thumb it up, dude. Go catch. What was it? Cash Money Chewy on Blab? Scott?
Yep. Yes, at Cash Money Chewy app. And we always, if you're in the Resellers Roundtable group, we do post the links. We start them at 9 p.m. Central Time. We usually run for about an hour and a half. So.
Yeah. Tyler, final words, dude. I'm about to slam somebody really quick here, Tyler, just so you know.
What was that?
No, I was just saying I'm getting ready to slam some people here because there's misconceptions.
Okay,
and
so I'll make.
There's always got to give misconceptions a rattle. Anyway, go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, well, I just want to thank everybody for coming out and watching us tonight on Labor Day. So I hope everybody had a great, safe weekend. And don't forget to check out the Blabs. They've been a lot of fun. I've been jumping in a couple of times here and there, and it's a new perspective. And it seems like there's a different type of people that are in there. They really want to learn, and they're asking good questions, and the interaction is great and everything. And I just want to wish everybody good luck going into this fourth quarter, and don't forget to have fun with it. So.
Heck yeah. Awesome, Tyler. I appreciate all you guys coming on here. The Monday shows are really nice. They're fun. I get to experience with people that really know what they're doing, so it's always fun for me to share this with you guys, and it's always a treat to have all these guys on here. But to sum it up, guys, there's a lot of shenanigans going on out there with reselling, and I've said this over and over and over, right? I have the website pigforprofit.com. The website has been around, right? It's established, right? We do what we do, and there's hate, there's all this, that, because we charge, right? We charge for a reason, and there's a lot more advanced stuff that nobody talks about, and a lot of the stuff that happens to me, and I'm gonna get my high horse here for a minute because it's my channel. But at the same point in time, right? I'm gonna tell you something because I saw a lot of you guys out there. You're talking about, these people with this podcast, right? I've never been so offended in my entire life being on YouTube, being on a show with those people, and talking to these people to realize that when they released the next morning their podcast, they were so anti-paid information, it made me sick to my stomach. It really did, right? And then for you guys to say, well, they're doing Amazon now. Well, you know what? It's all about the money for people, right? I've prided myself on Global Voodoo channel, right? We're approaching 15,000 subscribers. Right, I've got a backed-up website, backed-up information. It's heavily detailed, and I'm not here to prove anything to anybody. All I know is I'm doing my thing. Tonight we talked about Amazon, eBay, everything, right? We do this show every week. at the same point in time, right? Everybody's everybody. Listen to whoever you want to listen to. If they give you value, that's awesome, right? But there are some shady people out there, people that are very misleading. There's people that have videos. Hey, we bought this at $3 up to $5,000. These videos, right? It's getting out of control, and I don't know how much longer I will partake in all of this because honestly, I've been sick to my stomach for the longest time with all these resellers, this garbage. It's just, and I'm gonna say this. I know it's gonna be irritating, but I'll tell you what. Gotta but fucking be real. I've been real since day one of my videos, and I'm telling you this right now. You can do this. You can go out there and make money. Listen to what was said. Go out there and do it. See for yourself. Don't cry to me. Whoa, I can't sell anything in my eBay store. You got 20 items. I don't want to hear it. I won't even acknowledge you, honestly. And I know this is coming off like my high chair, but I'll tell you something, right? I've been here for the longest time on YouTube, making these videos, talking about it. I appreciate everybody that watches, but at the end of the day, all I really care about is if you take away the stuff that makes you money. That's all I'm saying. Take away the stuff that makes you money. And understand when you're watching 20-minute videos and then you say to yourself, what did I learn from that? You learn nothing. That's the future of YouTube reselling, right? The future of YouTube reselling are these people that get you in. Oh yeah, we got to watch this guy and do this and do that. Oh yeah, he comes out with a new ebook, 500 things to buy on Amazon, right? They pick and choose. They take the information. Just listen to people who are real, and that's what this show's about, and that's what we've always done. So we're out of here, guys. Appreciate you watching. Just go out there and do what you need to do to make money, right? Maybe you've taken something away from this. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you got pissed off. Just go do and put money in your pocket. It's all that matters because things are changing rapidly. And if you don't understand when it changes, you're going to be left in the dirt. You're going to be in the street, be crying for fucking money, be begging like the people I see out there. There's millions begging for money. This is an opportunity for all of us to make money, to resell, to put money in our pocket. Just do it. No excuses. Don't cry. Don't tell me, oh my God, how much should I price this for? Figure it out. We all have to figure it out, all right? At the end of the day, these shows are going to go on, but at the end of the day, they're going to stop at one point in time, and then you can listen to the rest of the garbage that's out there. I'm just telling you this right now. I've been straight up since day one. But we're out of here. We appreciate you guys watching. Love all of you guys. Be true. Be yourself. And that's all it is. Go make money. We're out of here. Peace.